All right, I think we're live. Good morning, everybody. Hello, chat. Let's look at yesterday's games and get into today's games. We're gonna do it just like yesterday. I already have a bunch of notes, but we're gonna build on those notes as we move through. Let's start with the NFL because I saw the score of the football game and it gave me a laugh. They must be down at the bottom. So the 49ers won with 24 points, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Super Bowl 24 is where the 49ers beat the Broncos, and the score was 45-10, 55 combined points. And as we talked about yesterday, 49ers, if you count the 4 and the 9, equals 55. And the other year when the Broncos won the Super Bowl in San Francisco, John Elway was 55 years old. The Broncos were 55 years past being established, and if you go back and look at the score of Super Bowl 50, they won with 24 points. So, again, 55 is the number that plays for the 49ers. Their coach, Shanahan, and his father used to coach the Broncos. He improved to 5-5 in the preseason by winning yesterday. And the Broncos did score at the end, which got rid of the 33 ritual. I know the score was 24-9 when the 49ers went up, and you're going to see how often 33 shows up if this is your first year doing this. In Monday Night Football, abbreviated MNF, MNF is 33. So, 49ers took that symbolic lead with 33 total points on the board. But, yeah, it does look like maybe even the preseason is scripted the same way as the regular season. Well, sort of. We only have one variable to go off of, though, and that's the coach's record. In the NFL season, we have to consider team records, team history, quarterbacks. So, but, yeah, since we started observing preseason coaching records where riddles have made sense, they've come through. So, take a look here, just see some of the scoring plays. Let's see here. Start with a field goal, 33-yard field goal. A lot of field goals. 30-yard touchdown run. It ended with a 24-yard touchdown run, huh? That's funny. Okay. And with regards to the score being 39 total points, like I was explaining yesterday, when you write out 49ers, it does equal 55 if you count the 4 and 9. Technically, you know, that's not pure Gematria. You're not supposed to count the numbers. And if you turn off the number count, you'll notice 49ers in its base Gematria also sums to 39, like how many points were scored in the game. So, there's that. That was the football game. Baseball was pretty good yesterday. The majority of the games that we liked came through. We liked the Royals to beat the Orioles. It was about the Orioles losing 8 straight on the 19th of the month. 19 is the 8th prime. The Nationals and Pirates game I took a pass on. It's too bad we didn't like the Nationals because they whooped up on the Pirates, but we did see it was a little bit dicey. This day in history did support the Nationals yesterday. And let me just put up the notes from yesterday as we go through this. Those are yesterday. The Nationals did stay on 30 away losses on the 30 date. The concern with the Nationals was their starting pitcher. Just that if he lost, he could have become 3-4, and Pirates is 34. But like we said, Pirates is also 43, so he did become 4-3. The Mariners, they looked good to upset the Rays. Said yesterday the Mariners have a good chance to even win this series because of what will happen with the manager record. The manager, by winning yesterday, became 306-306. And if he splits the next 2 games, which would mean win the series, because it's a 3-game series, he'd be 307-307. 307 is the 63rd prime. Rays equals 63. And Mariners put it on the Rays pretty good yesterday. And the Mariners historically have done well playing in Tampa Bay. So it's good to look for those historical patterns. The Padres had the edge to beat the Reds yesterday because the date numerology made sense on both sides. If the Padres won, they'd get their 30th away win. The Reds would get their 66th loss. You had 30 and 66 date numerology. The concern for the Padres was that they could have also picked up the 66th loss, but then you wouldn't have had the date numerology hit on both sides. So that came through. I liked the Cardinals yesterday. Cardinals looked good to win yesterday and win the series. And Dakota Hudson, he was going for his 12th win of the season. He did get it. Milwaukee equals 37, the 12th prime, so that was there. We got a caller real quick.
Hey, Zach, I just have a quick question, man. I'm new to this whole thing and everything. I'm trying to figure out how to bet online in a state that's, you know what I mean? What site are y'all using? Because I just can't get...
A reputable site is 5dimes.com. A lot of people use that site.
5times.com. All right, sweet.
They spell it with the number 5, and then dimes.
Dimes. Okay, gotcha. Sweet. Hey, I really appreciate it, bro. Thanks so much. Hey, you're a beast, bro.
All right, thanks, man. Take care. Okay. So Cardinals, they looked good to win the series. And the reason we said they looked good to win the series is because both team nicknames, Brewers equals 36, Cardinals equals 36. By the Cardinals winning 2 out of 3 at least, they'll both get to 36. The Brewers will get to 36 away losses. The Cardinals will get to 36 home wins. Usually if there's an overlap in the Gematria between teams, you'll see that number hit in the baseball series. Or if if it was a head-to-head game for basketball or football or something, if both teams had the same Gematria and that number could hit, especially on both sides, it's almost always going to go there. So baseball just gets trickier because you have series. So it's like, okay, well, what's the order? What's going to be the sequence of games to get to that number? But yesterday the Cardinals had the riddle. The Angels, they could have picked up their 30th away win and stayed on 30 away losses in the AL West. And they gave up their lead late. I think they had a lead in this game. Yeah, they were up early. They were up big from the get. 7 runs in the first 2 innings, and then the Rangers came back and beat them. And I remember that this game, though, the concern was just that the pitcher records made sense on both sides. So that was the danger of this game. The date numerology was there for the Angels. But the pitcher riddles went both ways. The Astros were monster favorites yesterday. They looked good to win, though. It was about Miley getting that 12th win against Detroit. Detroit 37, the 12th prime. Same thing that we talked about with Hudson versus Milwaukee. And that riddle hit in 2 out of 3 spots because I believe the Twins pitcher had a similar riddle. Yeah, Kyle Gibson yesterday could have got his 12th win versus Chicago. Chicago 37, the 12th prime. So I leaned the wrong way on that game. But like I said, I did advise. I said I would watch this Minnesota White Sox game yesterday because I said if Twins win today, they should sweep the series. But if they lose the first game, well, we're going to have to reconsider. The the Twins became 7-4 versus the White Sox by losing yesterday, and Chicago White Sox is 74. What's up, caller?
Hey, so I know there was the concern about whether or not there was that Super Bowl connection to that Rangers game last night, but I want to point out one thing. Super Bowl LIII equals 77 in Jewish reduction, and then the game ended 7-8. Rangers equals 78 in Jewish ordinal. So the Jewish ciphers are all over that game.
Okay.
And then you notice it also is 7 runs, 13 hits. It was a Skaggs tribute because I was saying it was 37 days or like 5 weeks, 3 days from Skaggs' birthday. And so that game worked out exactly as I had talked about yesterday during the stream. So I just wanted to add that yesterday ended up being a 7 for 7 day for me.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I'll let you get back to you. I just wanted to add that Super Bowl thing.
All right, see. Okay. And the Diamondbacks look good to beat the Rockies yesterday. We talked about them getting to 63 and 63. Chase is 63. And there was one other thing to that game. Caller?
Hey, what's up, man? You doing a live stream?
7 days a week, always at this time.
Oh, man, it's so early. All right. Hey, I just want to tell you something real fast. Today's the 400th anniversary of slaves arriving in America.
Right, yep.
And the NFL started today 99 years ago. So,
Oh, that's interesting.
All right, man, I'll let you go.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you. So, today's the first day of the NFL. I got to go back and look that up. That's interesting. You know what? That makes sense because today leaves. I see why they would do that. August 20th. Whoops, I don't want 2019. I want 20. August 20th leaves 133 days left in the year. You see that? And remember, football is 133. So you have to go back and check that out. Okay, what was the other thing about the Diamondbacks? I know they had more than just that 63-63 thing going. Maybe it was something about the date numerology. What was it? Oh, yeah, the 39, duh. The Rockies could pick up their 39th away loss on the 39 date numerology in Arizona, Arizona 39. So, pretty good day. We'll keep it going today. Hopefully, that's the goal. And first, we only got one early game today. It's because it's a doubleheader. The Angels and Rangers are playing 2 today. And it looks like this Brock Burke guy is making his debut. Brock Burke. So he's born August 4th. He's 23 years old. So he's making his debut 16 days after his birthday. Let's see. Okay. So Brock Burke, I don't think he has any MLB stats. I think this is the debut. Alright, so making the debut 16 days after his birthday or his 17th day of his age. Los Angeles Angels is 59, the 17th prime. Let's get Burria's stats real quick. Whoops, that's not what I want. He's 14 and 15, Berea. The only thing I could say about him winning, if he lost, he'd be 4 and 7 on the season. Today has a lesser date numerology of 47. Texas plays in Arlington. Arlington's 47. The only thing about that is 47 is the 15th prime number. If he won, he would be 15 and 15 for his career in Arlington. Let's see what he's done against Texas. He's 4 and 2 versus the Rangers. If he won, he'd be 5 and 2. Texas Rangers 52. Caller? Hello? Caller, you there?
Yeah, is this Sarah?
Oh no, this isn't Sarah. No.
Wrong number.
Yeah, wrong number. No problem. All right, so Berea could actually improve to 5 and 2 versus the Rangers. All right, hold on. So again, before I jot that down, today's date numerology, 67, that's the 19th prime number, 40, 22. Those are our primary date numerology methods. The lesser date numerology is 47, the day plus the month's 28. It's the 232nd day of the year, leaving 133 days remaining. Just real quick to scan by numerology. Well, actually, let's go back and just see how the numerology panned out yesterday, because we're just trying to pay attention to what it's doing. So the Nationals had a chance to stay on 30 away losses yesterday. They did. The Rays had a chance to pick up their 30th home loss. They did. The Padres had a chance to get their 30th away win. They did. Milwaukee had a chance to stay on 30 wins versus the NL Central. They did. So out of the 30s, all of them came through except for the Angels. The Angels were the only team that didn't get the date numerology yesterday. And that's usually our most pure method, just adding up each day digit for digit. So yesterday was August 19th, so 8 plus 1 plus 9 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 9. That's usually the best date numerology method to use. The life lesson number method is also good. The Orioles had a chance to stay on 39 wins. They did. The Rockies could pick up their 39th away loss. They did. And in both the 39s, it connected to the teams. The Rockies stayed on the Rockies got their 39th loss in Arizona 39. The Orioles stayed on 39. Orioles is 39. And then the 66 date numerology, it went on both sides in the one game, so that was a wash. The Cardinals did have a chance at their 66th win. They did get it. So the date numerology was pretty much on point yesterday. The only game, if you just played date numerology yesterday, you would have lost on one game. You would have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know, hold on, I'm getting an overlap with one of those games. I think you would have been 6-1 with the date numerology yesterday. So not bad. So again, the 2 days before that, it wasn't so good, but the week prior to that, it was good all except for one day. So we still got to be savvy about how we pick our games. We can't assume it's going to be as good today as it was yesterday. It might be, though, because there's periods where the date numerology gets hot, and you can just ride the date numerology games and pick games with confidence. So again, today 67, 40, 22, 67's the 19th prime. And this is the date numerology method that's usually the most consistent right here. The 22 path today. Okay. So, just to scan real quick, games where date numerology is on the board. Kansas City could pick up their 22nd away win today. The problem is the Orioles can also pick up the 40th win. So, you got date numerology on both sides. The Mets could get their 22nd home loss today. Detroit could stay on 22 losses versus the AL West. That would be an upset of the Astros, so we'll look at that. Remember, there's a chance Detroit wins one of that series to get to 38 wins because Astros is 38. They could also stay on 20 away wins because Astros is 20, but if we can find a Detroit upset, that'll be a nice payout. Atlanta can pick up 22nd loss versus NL East. St. Louis can stay on 22 losses versus NL Central. And hopefully the date numerology is on point today, because if it is, that's going to give me the feeling that it's probably going to stay on point as it goes through the progression of the 23, the 24, the 25, the 26, and so on, up until it resets and drops back down to a lower number again. So, the 40 date numerology path, the Orioles can pick up 40th win, but again, that's the game where Kansas City can pick up the 22nd win as well. If the Orioles do lose today, they will lose 9 in a row. I've noticed that a lot of these 8-game losing streaks have ended in the 9th game, meaning that they haven't lost 9 in a row. They finished by losing 8 in a row. Marlins can pick up 40th away loss. Rockies can pick up 40th away loss. A's can stay on 40 home wins. So those are our 40s. And again, picking up the numbers is usually a lot more consistent than staying. 67, Red Sox can stay on 67 wins. Reds can pick up 67th loss. Cardinals can pick up 67th win. Cubs can pick up 67th win as well. And okay, so that's our date numerology. So we're going to build on our notes. I'm never crazy about games where guys are making their debut, like this first early game today with Brock Burke. We did see that Berea, though, with a win. Let me come down to my pitcher notes. Berea can also become 5-2 against Rangers with a win. Texas Rangers equals 52. And did the Rangers become 5-2 against the Angels yesterday by beating them? I think I remember that we looked at that and we saw that if the Rangers won, they would be 5-2. So let me I think they're 5-2 at home. Because again, that is a number that plays with them a lot, and that could be what it is for Berea today. All right, let's see. Loading this up just to double check. I think I do remember saying this, that if the Rangers won yesterday, they could become 5-2 versus the Angels at home for the season, and then if they lost today, they could become 5-3 like Los Angeles is 53. 53 is the 16th prime. That guy's making the debut 16 days after his birthday. All right, so Rangers started out 3-0 at home. Wait, maybe that's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it must have been something different. Or did they not update this yet? Oh, they didn't update it yet. Because it's showing the last game played July 4th. So hold on. Yeah, so the Rangers were 4-2 at home versus the Angels. They improved to 5-2 yesterday. I remember that was a big one. When we saw that, we're like, ooh, that looks like where it's probably going because the division records are good. When you got a division matchup. So yesterday the Rangers improved to 5-2. All right. Let me add that down here. We got 2 games today, though, to think about. So on the first game, if Rangers lose first game of doubleheader, they will be 5-3 versus LA at home. Los Angeles equals 53. Because right now they're 5-2. Texas Rangers 52. And then that would get Jamie Berea of Angels can improve to 5-2 versus Rangers. Texas Rangers 52. So that would make some sense. And what are the overall records for the season? 6-7, 6-7. Caller?
What's up, Zach? How you been, brother?
Doing well, man. How are you?
Good, man. So, 2 things. Number one, I think it's no coincidence the Braves and the Mets are playing each other on the same day the Yankees and Dodgers are playing each other. I think they haven't played in a long time. So I'm wondering if there's a span from today up until the first day of the World Series.
Let me check that. But hold on. So we got the Braves and the Mets. Did you say Yankees and Dodgers?
I think they're playing today.
Wait. No, I think... Hold on. Am I on the wrong day? Wait, today it's Braves and Marlins and Yankees and Athletics.
Oh, okay. Oh, man. You know what it is? I'm in Mexico, so I saw something on Fox, and they had those 4 teams playing, so I assumed it was today.
Okay.
But,
Let me check the schedule here.
So let's stay with...
Let me check the schedule, though, to see if that's upcoming. Let me check this. Okay, so Yankees after this Athletics series. They play the Dodgers next. So Yankees-Dodgers is upcoming. That starts this Friday. And then Braves and Mets is probably going to be going on at that same time. So Braves-Mets starts Friday. So yeah, you're right about those series starting at the same time. Well, what were you thinking about that, though?
What I'm thinking is that it's probably, what I'm thinking anyway, since they haven't played in a long time, the Yankees and the Dodgers, I'm thinking it's the Yankees and AL, and then it's going to be one of those 3 in the World Series, so they're going to be playing against the Yankees. I think it's a foreshadow. That's why I'm wondering if there's any time spans from the start day of the series between the both up until the World Series.
Here, let me do it right now. So August 23rd to October 22nd. Let's see what it looks like. October 23rd, 2019 to, let's see, whoops. That'll be 60 days, or a span of 61 to the start. And I should look at what the, I forget what the end date is of the World Series off the top of my head, but I was saying I think there's a good chance it goes to Game 7 this year because of the date the season started on. So.
Oh yeah, I remember you saying that. You know, there've been a lot of 61 tributes. Isn't that a Philadelphia thing?
Well, 61's kind of just a big baseball number in general because the 61's the 18th prime number and baseball equals 18. So.
Okay, got it. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking that there might be something there.
Sure.
Do the Mets have any numbers to do anything this year?
They've gotten hot and rallied in a big way. I really think there's been so many riddles alongside the Yankees and Phillies this year. I feel real confident about the Yankees being in the World Series. But ever since that blackout happened, I've been thinking, man, that Yankees and Dodgers, it just fits the narrative perfect. Because it's the Yankees' 117th season. Dodgers equals 117. And the Yankees' next World Series appearance will be 41. LA equals 41. The only other National League team that could fit in with that 41 riddle is the Braves. Braves does equal 41 as well. But that 117th season, it might be Yankees-Dodgers, so...
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, the Phillies recently hired Emmanuel.
Right, and they got hot. They got hot, so it's not over for the Phillies, but I really thought they were going to win this Sunday game, get their 65th win on the 65 days before the World Series, but they lost that one, so.
Well, bringing me to that was my second thing. For some reason, I'm not getting any of the reviews. I'm getting the start date of your discussion, obviously, but I'm not getting the finalized reviews. Are you still doing them?
Well, I haven't done the review for over a week now. I've just been reviewing at the end of the video and just asking people to skip to the last 10 minutes. But
okay, got it.
I can start doing the review video again. It's just I've been trying to spend all my free time getting all this stuff done for football because it's time consuming. Since people said to move the focus to football, so I'm just trying to make sure I'm done with that in time.
No, I dig it. Okay, I just figured I'd follow up because I've been traveling back and forth, so I wasn't sure. And then one more thing for hockey, the Sabres, they're on a 8-year playoff drought. I think they're looking good to end that this year.
Buffalo Sabres, huh? Okay.
I think they're looking good to end it.
2019? Is that you're thinking 19, the 8th prime?
Yeah, I think I pointed out to you last week's end at 8. Daniel Cormier recently got knocked out. He had a previous 8-fight win streak snap.
Right.
Just, being beat, right?
Right.
So, did you guys cover that, by the way? I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. We saw that both the underdogs looked good to win. Cormier, that his rematch, it came exactly 58 weeks after the last fight, and the fighter who won, Miocic, I think is his name, his name equaled 58, and if you write out 2, it equals 58, and we saw that Cormier could get a second loss. And then the second fight against Nate Diaz, the fighter who lost against Diaz, he became 22-9 on the 229th day of the year, and he last lost in UFC 229. Plus, it was the perfect date for Nate Diaz to return. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Huh. Wow, okay. Did you do a review for that as well, or was it skip to the last 10 or 15 minutes?
It was all at the end, and then I linked all the notes for Saturday. Saturday is usually the day that we'll do a fight, so.
Okay, got it. Okay, thanks, brother. I appreciate it, Zach.
All right, yeah. Thanks, man. Take care.
You good?
All right, see ya. Yeah, I'll start doing the reviews again once I finish this whole football thing, but I mean, it's like lately that I just don't have a minute to do anything because it's, decoding this, it's decoding golf, it's working on the football thing, it's keeping up with everything else. So, but yeah, I'll get back to the reviews sooner than later. Okay, so coming back to this Angels-Rangers game, it is very interesting that Berea can get to 5-2 versus the Rangers. There's not any date numerology to go off of in this series, or this game today. In light of it being a 22 date, Angels does equal 22. Caller?
How you doing, Zach?
Doing well, how are you?
I'm just waking up, man. Just waking up.
Well, good morning.
Good morning. I got a question for you. How do you do the history? How you do the history?
So the website Pro Baseball Reference. Can you see the screen right now? I'll do it on the screen for people who want to know. So you go to Pro Baseball Reference.
Okay.
Pro Baseball Reference is the website, and then when you get there, just click in at the top. It says MLB Scores, and if you click on that, then you want to. When you get to Pro MLB Scores, you got to go to you got to switch the calendar to the date that you're actually on, and something seems to be screwed up with their website today. There we go. All right, so you want to get to the date August 20th, 2019, and then in each game on the screen it says preview. If you click preview and you scroll down, it'll show each team on this date. So the Angels on this date in history have 26 wins and 28 losses, and the Rangers have 28 wins and 25 losses. So we've just been looking So in this case, it doesn't matter. But what we look for is like if a team could get their, let's say a team was playing the Athletics and they could get their 34th win or loss. If that lined up and they were playing the Athletics, because Athletics equals 34, you know. And again, this day in history, it started off really good for us. It got cold for a week. It still seems like it's a tool you can use to get an opinion. It's not 100% consistent, but what we look for is team Gematria that lines up with this day in history. If that makes sense.
Hey, Zach, I got a question for you too. You will do the college football for the night. You do college football, don't you?
Yeah.
College football tonight, 2 games. I think tonight, 2 games.
Is it preseason college or is it an official start of the season?
I think part of the season, I believe.
Really? Okay, we can take a look at that.
And see, one more thing I asked. One more thing. I forgot what it was. Let me see. Oh, who you like the first game? The first game for the for baseball about 2:00 game.
So we're looking at that one right now. Yesterday, the Rangers became 5-2 versus the Angels at home. Texas Rangers is 52. That's a number that plays with them a lot. Today, the Angels pitcher, if he got the W, he could become 5-2 versus the Rangers for his career. I'm still looking at the game as you call. I haven't finished looking at everything here. But if the Angels did win and Texas dropped the first game, Texas would become 5-3 versus the Angels for the season at home, and Los Angeles is 53 as well. So right now I'm leaning Angels, but I want to look at a few more things just to make sure there's not something there. The biggest concern with the Angels is if Berea lost, he'd be 4-7, and the Rangers do play in Arlington, and Arlington's 47. But I like the 5-2 riddle a little bit better, so I'm leaning Angels right now.
Okay, no problem, man. Okay, thank you very much again.
All right, welcome. Take care.
All right.
Okay. So again, if Berea does win, he becomes 5-2 versus the Angels. Texas Rangers 52. If the Rangers lose at home, they'll be 5-3 versus Los Angeles. Los Angeles 53. And let me see. We saw this Brock Burke is making his debut 16 days after his birthday. Los Angeles 53, the 16th prime. We don't have any date numerology to go off of. If the Rangers only won one more in this series, they would have 37 wins. That's an overlap number because Los Angeles is 37, Rangers is 37. I imagine they play tomorrow too. It's probably the last game of the series. Mike Minor could become 11-8 tomorrow. Los Angeles 118, big number there with Los Angeles. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Hey.
The first the game that's not the game. That's not the game. It's come on early.
Oh, they switched out. Oh, I see. They switched the pitchers around.
It's not the game, yeah. And the man who for the pitch for the game.
Well, they just did that. They just switched the pitchers because it was the other ones just a second ago. And now it's Andrew Heaney and Joe Palumbo. Caller?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't like that 15 minutes ago.
Well, this on my insurance on different.
Who do you have starting for the first game of the Angels and Rangers?
But for Andrew
Heaney
Andrew Heaney.
versus Joe Palumbo?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what they just switched it to on ESPN too. Yeah, they just switched up the pitchers.
And the pitcher, Joe, what his name, Joe Pump, Joe, his name equals 52.
Joe Palumbo equals 52?
Yeah.
Of course it does. Okay. Yeah. All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you for tipping us off. All right. Hold on. All right, let's look at what's going on with these pitchers then. I hate when they do that. This happens a lot with doubleheaders. The pitchers flipping around. Okay, Andrew Heaney. He's 18 and 23. 18 and 20 versus the AL. So he could get his 19th win today, 67 date numerology. 67 is the 19th prime. So Heaney can get his 19th career win. And what was his losses? Caller?
Hey, so this Angels doubleheader, I'm actually thinking that the Angels win 2 in a row and then lose tomorrow.
Well, I see that tomorrow's pitcher could become 11 and 8. That happens all the time against Los Angeles teams.
They would go to 5 and 4 at Arlington at reflection of 45. Today is also the 5 weeks 3 days. Skaggs' birthday. Notice on this day in history, the Angels are 26 and 28. The Rangers are 28 and 25. If you look at their division records, the AL West, that's kind of what's interesting here. So if the Angels win, they would get their 26th and their 27th, and then they would go to 28, 28 today. The Rangers would stay on 28 to get their 27th loss, and they would stay on 27 AL West wins. So the Angels also have the Hebrew date numerology today, so that's a 167. And Los Angeles Angels equals 167. And when this usually happens, it's extremely, extremely hard for me to go against the team. And notice also, Heaney, if he wins, you have prime numbers. He would have 19 and 23 as his career record, and he'd be 3 and 3, which are all primes.
Right. So today's a good day to get the 19th career win. So
yeah. And I was already thinking the night game last night until they changed the pitchers out and this guy's got primes everywhere. And so the other thing, too, if the Angels win Tuesday, they'd be 31-34 on the road. That's a 4-7 reduction like today's 47-day numerology.
Yeah, if they won both, that's true.
And so tomorrow has the 41 and 48-day numerology. It would set up a sync for the Rangers to be on 41 night wins. That's why I was thinking they would lose the night game. And then the Angels would be on 48 night losses. And so it would be perfect then for the date numerology tomorrow to have it set up that way. And if this early game's got primes all of it, then it's kind of leaning back with my original assumption that the Angels would win 2 and then lose tomorrow. Especially considering what happened last night. The Angels were destroying them. And then they just gave up the game, and they had bases loaded multiple times with 1 out or no out, and just couldn't do anything. So,
well, I do agree that I really like the Angels to win 2 out of 3 because that would give the Rangers just 1 more win, so they'd have the 37th home win. Los Angeles and Rangers is 37, and that would give the Angels 66 losses, and Texas is 66. It's just that tomorrow, that 118 riddle comes through so much for Los Angeles, because Los Angeles, California is 118. It's on the 118th meridian, and I do see that the pitcher tomorrow, Mike Minor, with a loss. Let me look more at his stats. He would be 11-8 if he lost tomorrow. But I do agree that both pitchers today also make sense for the Angels to win. So I'm just thinking, okay, where is one of these going to go sideways?
Well, we've seen the 37 play a lot with the series already, so that's why I'm assuming that Minor, I guess, would go to 12-7, which would be a 3-7 reduction. And
you know what? Tomorrow when Mike Minor pitches, he can get his 68th career win on a 68 date numerology tomorrow. God, he can also get his 58th loss though, and Angels is 58. So
yeah, but the date numerology is going to be much smarter because it's going to be 68 and 168 in the Hebrew calendar. So
sure.
Plus having that 3-7 showing, like he's a Ranger, he's going to have a record that says Rangers. It's pretty hard to go against things like that.
I'll tell you what, if you bet the Angels all 3 games, you should win at least 2 out of those 3 bets. So
yeah, well, the other thing too is so like I said, if it goes to 2 out of 3 games going by the Angels, they'll have that 31-35, which would be a 4-8 reduction in their away record too. So today they get the 47 on the 47 day, and then with the loss tomorrow they get the 48 on the 48 day. So
yeah, I won't be surprised if the Angels win both games today because the pitchers have the riddles to win today. So,
but yeah, so I think though today, I just want to quickly list off a couple games because sometimes what happens is we identify games like a week ahead of time, and then we forget to bring it up, so people kind of remind themselves that today is one of those days where one of the things we had scheduled is, and so. If the assumption with this Cardinal series was that Wainwright, no matter what, was going to get that 99 against the Brewers, and Hudson won last night, and we were thinking they'd get 2 out of 3 in the series, then tonight the Cardinals definitely would be the more prime lean on that game. And then yesterday, you were talking about the Mariners Rays, and so today it's the perfect day for the 74 to play because of the 47 day numerology. Mariners get 74th loss, Rays get 74th win or something like that, and then tomorrow as the birthday date spans 4 Seattle numbers. In terms of the Rays may have 107 days until his next birthday.
Seattle 107.
Yeah, so the Cardinals and Rays today, those are just ones that we had identified previously. And then the Cubs game, that was the one that the Quintana win set up, them going to the day off, and then today have the chance of the 67th win on the 67-day numerology. And then the Braves game, that was set up the 40th away loss and 40th NL East loss for the Marlins. So that was the other one we had identified. So I just wanted to bring those up.
Yeah,
so kind of remember.
Good points. All right, appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, thanks. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I do agree that the Angels have a good shot to win both games today. It's just that tomorrow's pitcher, we just saw that tomorrow's pitcher, he could get his 68th win on the 68 date, but he could also get his 58th career loss. Angels is 58 and fall to 11-8, and we see 118 play all the time with Los Angeles sports riddles because again, Los Angeles, California is 118, and it's on the 118th meridian. So I don't think the Angels will win all 3 games. It's possible. I don't think that's going to happen though. Again, their next loss is 66. Texas is 66, and the Rangers just winning 1 gets them to 37. Los Angeles Rangers both 37. So strategy could be to bet the bet the Angels 3 games in a row. You should win at least 2 of those 3. If you can pick out which one they're going to lose, if the Angels win both today, I would be leaning Rangers tomorrow. But it is possible the Angels lose one of these 2 today. And so just keep that in mind. Strategies to win more than lose. Angels look good to win. Or that's the other thing you could just, the Angels probably don't pay a lot to win the series right now. You can also look at what that is, but they should win the series if you just wanted to do one bet. So. The Royals and the Orioles. Let's see here. Again, you You got the date numerology on both sides today. The Orioles could get their 40th win on the 40 date, or the Royals can get their 22nd away win on the 22 date. I do prefer the 22 date numerology to the 40, but the Orioles are right here at 8 straight losses. Today would be 9 straight, and my memory serves me, every time these teams have been going for the 9th straight loss, they've been ending the streak in that game winning. Again, 9 represents completion. Baseball, a game of 9 innings. So just streaks right now to be mindful of. The Red Sox have won 5 straight. Orioles have lost 8 straight. Remember, anytime you see a team going for 8 straight and there's a 19 connection, it's pretty much happening. I don't think we've seen any of those riddles go sideways. Mariners are on a 3-game winning streak. And let's see, anything else? Marlins have lost 3 straight. Let's see, Pirates have lost 3 straight. Padres have won 3 straight. Okay. So Rangers got their rookie pitchers on the mound. The word rookie. Is the word rookie? What's the word rookie equal? It's not 37, is it? It is 37. I just thought about that. Rookie's 37 like Rangers. This is what I wonder. Could the Rangers sneak one of these games out even though it doesn't look good for them today? Anyway, Angels to win 2 of the next 3. It's a strategy. Okay. Royals and Orioles. Let's look more at Brad Keller and Dylan Bundy. Let's see if we can iron out who's going to take this game. Brad Keller. Let's see. He's 1-0 versus the Orioles. 1 career start. That game he went 8 innings and gave up 2 runs. Not bad. And what I don't know is if that game was in Baltimore or Kansas City. Well, it doesn't look like he's pitched in Baltimore before, so I guess that was at home. And I'm going to close some windows here. Keller's 16-19 for his career. And I don't think those numbers go with the Orioles. Kansas City Royals is 59, the 17th prime, but that doesn't have to come today. On 19 career losses, 67 day. Tomorrow will be the 41 date numerology. Baltimore's 41. If the Royals didn't lose, they'd go into the 41 date still on 41 losses. But then again, the Orioles, if they could, say, win today and tomorrow, they could also get to 41 wins on the 41 date. And here, let's look at Dylan Bundy. Maybe he's got the clue. Bundy's 36-44. And Royals is 36. I don't think. Let me pull up something real quick. 1 second. Kansas City 67, like the date numerology. Royals don't have the 45 connection. I guess one thing that I am spotting is that Bundy could get his 14th loss versus KC. We know how KC does dish out the 14. So I'll note that real quick. I'd probably skip this game today just because the date numerology is on both sides. So many teams have ended their streak and not lost 9 in a row. But, the other thing I'm thinking is if the Orioles did win these next 2 games, they'd stay on 86 losses, and Kansas City Royals is 86 as well. Yeah, so if they won today and tomorrow, the Orioles would get to 41 wins on the 41 date after losing 8 in a row. Ugh. I think it's probably still wise to skip this game. If the Orioles win today, I think that's a good sign for them tomorrow. But yeah, just with the date numerology on both sides, Bundy, if he lost, he would get the 14th versus KC. They really have dished out that number a ton. If he won, though, he'd be 6 and 13. Prime number relationship, 13, the 6th prime. So yeah, there's going to be better games. Strasburg today could get his 16th win versus the team with the P on the hat, or P on the baseball cap. P's the 16th letter. So good team for the 16th win. Archer, though, got to consider him. He could, with an upset, would be 4 and 9. Washington is 49. That's a big number with the Nationals. We talked about the Nationals could lose 2. It's a 4-game series. If they lose 2, they'll get to 58. Pittsburgh's 58. And let's look a little careful. Strasburg. Strasburg. He's 1-0. Ooh, Strasburg's next loss is 58. All right, that's important. All right, so Strasburg with a loss would pick up 58 in a perfect location. 109, 29th prime. Let's see what he's done against the Pirates. Strasburg's been a little more beatable lately. He's 6 and 2 versus the Pirates. I don't think those numbers connect. 6 and 2 versus the Pirates. So he wins at a ratio of 3-1. Let's see what he is at PNC. Pirates field here. He's 2-1 at PNC Park, and I think PNC Park's 79, the 22nd prime. Hold on. Yes, it is. So he could fall to 2-2 there. And Archer can improve to 4 and 9 versus Washington. Let's see what he's done against them. Maybe we got an upset here. Archer's 60 and 80. So he could get his 61st win. Washington, D.C. is 61. All right, let's see. Some good team to get the 61st win against. 6 and 12 with Pittsburgh. 6 and 12 versus the NL. Let's see his splits with Washington. He's 1-1 versus Washington. 2.0 ERA, 3 starts, 18 innings, 4 earned runs. Not bad. How's he been doing at PNC Park? He's 4 and 6. Woo. Ooh, I don't like that he's 4-6, because if he lost, he'd be 4-7. Pirates is 47. If he won, he'd be 5-6. Washington D.C. The date 47 date numerology too, the lesser method. Again, there is a good chance the Nationals lose 2 games, and if they lose with the Strasburg on the mound, they're halfway there. If Strasburg was 15-6, remember Nationals is 33, and when you write out 33, it's 156. Let me make sure. Not missing anything with that. Nationals. All right. You definitely have riddles going both ways. The Pirates do have a good shot at an upset in this game, though. And after they got whooped yesterday, that'll probably have, people thinking Nationals are about to run all over them. So it's all about the mind tricks. Again, 49 plays a lot with the Nationals. Strasburg, you could make an argument for that 16th win because, again, the letters on the cap are a big deal. Hold on. Let's see who Archer faces. Let's see who both of them face next. I should also look at their head-to-head this year. You might find the tiebreaker yet. But Strasburg, the fact that he can get that 58th loss, that one stands out in a big way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll face the Cubs next. Well, if he lost 2 in a row, if he lost to the Cubs 2, he'd get to 15-7. That's like 157, the 37th prime. Chicago's 37. So that could happen. Pirates schedule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pirates got the Reds next. Archer. If he did win 2 in a row, he could get to 5-9. Pittsburgh's also 59. 59 is the 17th prime. Ohio's the 17th state. Okay, let's see the head-to-head records here. It's going to be the 55th game. The Pirates are 29-25 versus the Nationals, 19-11 at home. They could get their 20th win on the 20th. They stayed at 19 wins on the 19th. Hold on, I'm on the wrong thing. I'm obviously on the wrong thing. Never mind. Disregard what I just said. I was looking at the wrong one. It's this one right here. They're 324-301. The Pirates could get their 173rd home win today. That's the 40th prime number. We do have a 40-date numerology. Let me jot that down. I gotta do this year gap here. Pirates can get 173rd home win versus Nationals. 173 40th prime. 40 date numerology. So that stands out too. Speaks to that upset narrative. Let's see what the record is this year. Pirates are... Oh, they still haven't updated yesterday's stats. So the Pirates are 2-2 versus Washington this year. 0-1 at home. It's not going to help us for today, though. 2-2 on the 22 date. I think the Pirates have an upset chance here. So, game to think about. Indians and Mets. If Motts loses, he falls to 7-8. Cleveland 78, New York 78. So that jumps out right away. You got the overlap with 78. Motts can lose and become 7-8. And looking at it, make sure I didn't have anything with the. Let's see what the interleague play records are with these teams. Cleveland is 6-5 in interleague play. If they won, they'd be 7-5. The reflection of 57. Again, we know how big 57 is with the Mets. The Mets are 12-5 versus the AL. They've done very well. Hard to say where they can go, but they've been winning. They've been playing their interleague records a lot better than Cleveland's is. Okay. Both teams have been on a tear, but Steven Motts definitely jumps out. That 7-8. That's the big one to me. Let's see their records against each other. They probably haven't played many games. New York Mets, Cleveland Indians. Going to be the 16th game, and the Mets lead 10-5. Now we know 11's the fifth prime number. At home, they're 2-1. If they lost, they would be 2-2 on the 22-date numerology. All right, so we got Motts' record going against him in a big way because Cleveland and New York are both 78. Let's look at Bieber and Motts more carefully. Bieber's 23-10. 23-10. That means he can get his 24th win, and we know Mets is 24. That's been another number that the Mets have dished out a lot this year. So Bieber can get his 24th career win. So that looks good. And I forget, do that letters NY equal 13? NY. No, they don't. They equal 6. All right. I'm just gonna jot that down. Bieber could get his 6th loss as well because NY is 6, but I'm leaning Indians on this one. The 24 is the number the Mets really dish out. Okay. So I like Motts' record with a loss. I like Bieber's record with a win. Let's look at more at Motts here. Well, let me see if he's faced the Mets ever before first. Hold on. Nope. All right. So Motts. Oh, look at that. Motts could get his 34th career loss. Indians 34. Alright, and has Motts ever faced the Indians before? Motts is 1-0 versus the Indians. 1 start, 7 innings pitched, no runs given up. So he pitched well there. Motts is 12-14 at Citi Field. He could get his 15th loss. Indians is 47, the 15th prime. So, yeah, I think a lot... The pitchers make a whole lot of sense if Motts loses and Bieber wins. Only thing I could see for Bieber is just getting that 6th loss, just because NY is 6, but I've never really documented the 6 with the NY. I know the 24 hits a lot with the Mets. And getting that overlap number, 78. Looks real good there with Motts. Mets can also get the 22nd home loss on the 22 dates. That was the date numerology as well. So I like the Indians there. That looks like a good game. All right, what are the Phillies going to do? Man, I was thinking the Phillies were coming alive. They were. And then all of a sudden, they didn't get their 65 like they should have. So, the Red Sox could stay on 67 wins today on the 67 date numerology. I'm not putting any weight on that, honestly. I'm just saying it's there. But, what could make sense with these records? Phillies come in with 32 away losses. Boston's 32. What am I missing? Red Sox. Boston and Red Sox are both 32. Boston and Red Sox have overlap in 3 out of the 4 ciphers. Okay. If you use the rule for S, Boston's also 31. Okay. I think we got to look at the head-to-head records here. Boston versus Philadelphia. All right, going to be the 68th game. Boston leads 41-26. If Boston didn't win today, they'd stay on 41 wins going into tomorrow, which is a date with 41 numerology. Boston's 20-9 at home. They could stay on 20 home wins on the 20 date. Tomorrow will be the 21st. Boston is 20-9 at home. There's Philadelphia. August. All right, let's look at the pitchers some more. Nola wears the number 27. The next Phillies away win is 27. We don't know who's pitching for the Red Sox, which hurts. We only have half the information. Ah, look at that, though. God. He can get his 53rd win. Boston Red Sox is 53. He could also get his 32nd loss. Caller?
Yeah, what's going on, Zach?
Hey, man.
Observations for the day. I want to ask you some questions. It's like 3 or 4 teams that can do the 666 in a record. Philadelphia's one, and then the Mets can do it too. I think it's the Padres and the Reds. So I wanted to know, like, out of those 4 teams, what team you think would be best to go like 66 and 60 to make a 666 tribute?
Well, since you bring that up, so the Phillies would have to win today and tomorrow to do it.
Right.
They'd probably make the most sense, honestly, Philadelphia, because they're named from Revelation, where the whole 666 thing comes from. So New York, you know what? New York equals 666 in Sumerian cipher. So that is a good observation. I was really liking the Indians to win today, though, just because Motts can be. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was hearing what you saying, like with the Motts and everything. You took me right off because, like with the, I had the Mets because I was looking at, first then if you put Bieber in, that Bieber S or Bieber, it gives you a 33 in the Gematria calculator. And he's coming in with a Mott's coming in with a 4.33 ERA.
Huh.
So I was just thinking, and Cleveland and New York has the overlap of the 33.
Right.
Like you said, they have the overlap of the 78. They also have the 33
That's
overlap.
right.
And they in New York.
That's right. Well, if they are going for a 6.66,
but what you told me, you did kind of take me off. Like I'm second guessing myself definitely right now.
well, I think that game's dangerous because a lot looks good there for the Indians. If they are going for the 6.6, I'd say if the Mets win today, you're right, they will win tomorrow. That probably will happen because New York is 6.66. But I do like the Indians today. The other games you said, Padres.
Yeah, Padres can do it, and I think the Reds. That's the only 4 teams that can do it.
It's probably going to happen. Well, the Padres will. I'll say the Padres. They're almost definitely going to get that 66th loss. The way Cincinnati dishes out 66, they possibly could even get to 67 because that's the 19th prime and Reds is 19. But it could only be the Reds or the Padres because it would have to be splitting games with the Padres to do it, or the Reds winning 2 in a row. So,
So you think out of those 3 teams, you thinking Phillies would be the best? Because I know one team is going to do it, and Boston had a chance to do it, and Baltimore was up on them 6-0. If Baltimore would have won that game, they would have went to 6. They would have did the 6-6-6, but they didn't. They tied it up at 6-6, and then they beat them 13-6.
right.
So that was So I just know what my intuition is telling me. One of these teams is going to do a 6-6-6 tribute. I was just trying to see if you knew, like off the top, if a team had that strong connection. Also, I noticed too, Bieber can become 12-6. I think you said that's kind of like the New York birthday, like June 21st, if I'm not mistaken.
No, New York's birthday is July 26th. July 26th.
Oh,
New
July.
York's birthday.
Okay, I got it mixed up then. Okay. But
you always make great observations. So yeah, you got me thinking about the Mets now. That's the only way I could see the Mets winning is if that's what they're going for. But man, I would not bet on the Mets today just the way all that stacks up personally. So if the Mets win today, then I'd probably take them tomorrow for that tribute because New York is 666. But again, Philadelphia is named from Revelation, and that's where the whole 666 thing comes from. So I could see why that would do that with that riddle. Yeah.
Okay, and on this so on the numerology, say like we got the 68 date today. Like how many times in a month does the 60 plays? It only plays one time. I know the 20s will play like twice, but how many times does the 60 play?
Well, I think that number's more important like when it coincides with like a team name. Like for example, on the 61 date numerology, we talked about Philadelphia that day. It ended up being a Philadelphia shooting later in the day. And then we saw the Phillies have their big breakout game for the moment. So
yeah, I know. I'm understanding what you're saying. I'm saying like in a month time, in 30 days, how many times is it going to get to the 60s in the date numerology?
Oh, well, okay. So just think about it this way, because that date numerology is always where you add the day plus the month plus the year in 2 parts, plus 20 plus 19. So every month starts off with 20 plus 19. So you're already at 39. So, like, just imagine next month. It would be the first day of the month would be September 1st. So it'd be 1 plus. So you'd be 49 date numerology, right? So after you get 12 days into or after you go 11 more days in the month, you're going to be at 60 date numerology. So I mean, you can calculate it out like that and just figure out where you're going to hit that at each month. What I'm going to do.
I was looking at it. It seems like it's only like one time that it'll hit in the 60s.
Well, it'll get there and then it'll stay there until it goes on to the next group. So I mean, what something I'm going to do, and this is why I need somebody to help me. I want to make a calendar for next year that just has all the date numerology just already on each day. So you can just, it'd be helpful for sports too, because you could just open it up and probably map things out too, looking at the sports schedule.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because that's what I did. Like I went back like July. Today is the 20th, so I did July 21st. Then I did June 22nd. Then I did May 21st. But anyway, they gave me the 67, and I did notice because if you put Cleveland Indians, that equals 67, and it's a 67 date numerology, and they are 3-1 within the 4 months that they play. So this is the 5th month. So they do. And teams, I looked at the Braves too. The Braves only lost 1 game. So when the Braves, I forgot, I think there's a 37. I don't know what Atlanta Braves equaling for reduction, but
it's 37.
It is.
It is 37.
Yeah. So when I went back and looked on the 37 date, they won every game on the 37 except for 1 time.
Yeah.
But it might be more than, that's why I was asking you, it might be more than 137 date appears in 1 month. You know what I mean?
Sure. So, I mean, you can go through it and do the math on that. But, like, each month there's going to be one date that sums to 67 if you're just asking for one specific number. So each month there's going to be one 67 day. But there's going to be multiple 37 days just because you can get to that path, using the 37 is just going to come up more because it's in the straightforward date numerology path and also in the life lesson number path. Is that one's going to come up sometimes multiple times in a month. But the 60 is only going to hit 1 time. So
I got you. I appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. Take care, man. Thanks. Yeah, I really got to get that calendar made. I mean, it would be inexpensive. Once I got this website up, I'll get items like that on there. But, just everything just takes time. It's just like, ugh. That's why, I don't know. I still got to put up the poll to see how you guys feel about raising the price to hire a team of people. Because, I mean, if the reality is, I think if you guys paid a little bit more per month and then we could afford employees and have the confidence that we're going to have the cash flow to keep people employed, we could have things like that built. And, yeah, those could be helpful tools. And they could help increase the winning percentage even beyond where we're at. So the goal is always to get better. But, all right, coming back to the games. So Phillies and Red Sox, we're looking at Nola here. Nola could get his 53rd win. Boston Red Sox is 53, but he can also get the 32nd loss, and Boston's 32. Red Sox is also 32, so that is a little bit tricky. If Nola lost, he'd also be 11-4. That was the first thing that stood out to me, just because the Red Sox, they won the 114th World Series. Okay. Caller, what's going on?
Hey, man. Hey, I haven't been following things too much. When is the last time Chris Sale pitched? Do you know?
But he just got hurt the other day.
Right. So they're saying he's done for the season, and I just find that's kind of interesting that they're calling that out, before this Phillies series. So I didn't know if there was anything there, if he was supposed to pitch today or tomorrow or what.
Well, let me see. I'm pulling up his game log to see when his last performance was. So he just pitched August 13th at Cleveland. That was his last go.
August 13th?
Uh-huh.
So that was, so yeah, he would have been scheduled to start, I don't know when, like
a day or two ago, probably.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha. All right, I just saw that story today. I didn't know if there was something to that. I just thought it was interesting. I mean, it's saying he avoided, he gets to avoid probably Tommy John surgery, so this means this fake injury.
He went out a span of 71 days before the World Series. If you count the span, Boston Red Sox is 71, so.
No, they're done. We already knew that anyways, but I just wonder if it tied into anything else.
Yeah, there could be. He faced Cleveland, so to think about that one more.
Yeah, Cleveland's one of those teams too that's kind of seems like they've had some riddles too.
Yeah, they could get some pitchers back, so they hosted the All-Star game.
I just wondered if there was anything to that Chris Sale thing coming up today.
Yeah, I didn't realize that, so I'll think more about that.
Zach.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
See you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay. Chris Sale's 40. We got 40 date numerology. So is the news today that he's out for the year? So I don't. It looks like the news might have actually broken yesterday. So yesterday, if the news broke yesterday, that would have been 71 days before the start of the World Series. And again, Boston Red Sox is 71. Okay. His birthday is March 30th. Here, you can just see how the news lined up with his birthday. I think it was announced yesterday. "142 days after his birthday, or his 143rd day of his age." Tommy John. Chris Sale's 149, the 35th prime. Tommy John's 35. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to think about it more. Let me let's look deeper here. Aaron Nola again. So Aaron Nola, you can make sense of his career wins or losses. Let's see what he's done against Boston. He's no decision versus Boston. One start, he went 8 innings and gave up 1 earned run. So his one game against them was impressive, and he pitched at Fenway before. So his game was at Fenway. His impressive start. So he's pitched well there in the past, and what's Fenway alone? And if the Red Sox didn't win today, it would set them up with the date numerology tomorrow. Possibly. Did I look at the head-to-head records for these teams? Boston versus Phillies. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. We were talking about how if Boston didn't win today, they'd go into the 41 date still on 41 wins. Did they play each other this year? First game this year. Boston, they split last year, but it looks like Boston 2 years prior was playing well against them. How about this Brian Johnson guy? Brian Johnson is 7-7 for his career, 1-1 for the year. He faced the Phillies before, yeah. So he got a no decision, 1 start. He only went 2.2 innings pitched and gave up 3 earned runs. Got pulled early. Let me see who the Nola will face next. One, two, three, four, 5. Pennsylvania series next. So Nola's next win is 53, right? Pennsylvania's 53. It's interesting because Pirates and Phillies play each other next. 53 is the 16th prime. Pirates wear the P on their hat. So if he lost today, I think he'd be primed to beat the Pirates in this next game. Yeah, I don't like that you can make sense of Nola's record either way. He did it. He's pitched 1 time in Boston. He pitched very well. You'd imagine if he pitched like that again, he would get the win tonight. But I'm just a little bit scorned on the Phillies right now since they didn't pick up that 65th win in that last game on the 65 date against the 65 opponent in the most 65 city. I just don't know what to make about that. And is Bryce Harper playing tonight anyway? Is he back? I know he had cramps last game, supposedly. Okay. I'm sure he'll play tonight since he had cramps last game. Okay. Here, let's keep looking. So we still don't have the Mariners pitcher. I want to look more carefully at this Phillies Red Sox game. I want to see if we can find the winning clue here. Aaron Nola. To me, it looks like the Phillies got a shot, but I just don't like that Nola can also pick up his 32nd career loss. It's 77 days after Nola's birthday. Boston's 77, Red Sox is 77. Okay. And Ryan Johnson. Today's his 257th day of his age. It's 256 days after his birthday, or his 257th day of his age. That's the 55th prime number, 257. Boston, Massachusetts is 55. But even still, with both of that, I'm just, yeah. If Phillies do win today, like the caller said, it would set them up to become 66 and 60. And again, that comes from Revelation in the Bible, 666, just like the name Philadelphia. If the Red Sox lost 2 in this series, is this a 3-game series? Oh, actually, it's just a 2-game series. Well, that's a clue, actually. If the Red Sox lost both games in this series, they would get to 61 losses. Philadelphia is 61. Let me add that here. All right, so we saw tomorrow Porcello's on the mound. Yeah, it's still a tough call just because you can also make sense of Nola's record with a loss, but there's a chance here the Phillies do take both these games, make a statement. Remember, the other thing to consider about Nola is if he did lose, though, he would be 11-4, kind of like 1-1-4. The Red Sox are the defending champions, 114th World Series. So we don't know who's pitching for the Mariners. I like the Mariners to split these last 2 games. Again, we talked about this yesterday. We had the Mariners with the upset yesterday to win 2 out of 3 in the series so that their manager's record's 307 and 307. That's the Mariners manager. 307 and 307 matters because 307 is the 63rd prime and Rays equals 63. Diego Castillo could fall to 2-7 today. Rays is 27, but I got to see who the Mariners pitcher is to come up with anything on that. So while we do this, hopefully we'll get that information. The Rays' next win is 74. The Mariners' next loss is 74. Tampa Bay Rays is 74. And the Mariners' next away win's also 27, Rays 27. So, got to assume that's going to happen. So we can look a little bit more at this Diego Castillo for a minute. He's 6-8. Yeah. I want to mess with that. Yeah, we gotta wait to see who the Mariners pitcher is. But based on whoever wins tomorrow, I would assume whoever wins today loses tomorrow. All right, Padres and Reds. Sonny Gray can improve to 9-6. That big Cincinnati number. Cincinnati equals 96. Pitching at home. That jumps out right away. What could go against the Reds is that 67 date numerology. Again, I'm not crazy about that path. The Reds could get the 67th loss, though. 67 is the 19th prime. Reds is 19. Cincinnati and 96, though, it is a big number. Just like Dalton equals 96, the quarterback for the Bengals. So that stands out right away that Sonny Gray can get to 9-6. Cal Contrell with a loss would be 6-4, the reflection of 46. Reds is 46. And so is there anything else with the record? Let's look more at the pitchers. Not a lot to go off of there. Hasn't faced the Reds yet. And Gray. Gray's on 67 career wins, which is interesting. His next loss is 59. I'm pretty sure there's no connection to 59 with the Padres. Let's see who he'll face next. One, two, three, four, five. He'll face the Marlins next. It's not gonna matter. Well, Miami Marlins is 68. If he went in there with 68, or if he got his 68th win against them. There's my Sonny Gray notes. Sonny Gray is on 67 wins. 67 date numerology. Gray faces Marlins next. Miami Marlins equals 68. It's possible he goes in with the 68. He could even stay on it facing them. But yeah, I just like Cincinnati in 96. So that hits so often. I got to imagine his record gets to 9-6. It's possible he got a no decision today. That's the one thing that could go against him. Again, that 60-something path I'm not crazy about, but because it is 67, the 19th prime, and Reds is 19, it makes it a little bit more interesting. But I still think the strongest riddle on the board is Sonny Gray to get to 9-6. Caller?
Yeah, Zach, can you hear me?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
1 second. Zach?
I hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. I'm kind of like outside, but yeah, I noticed on the Boston and Philly, I noticed that you said the pitcher can become 11-4 if Philly lose like the World Series, right?
Right.
If you look at the Boston manager, he can get his 114th loss today.
The Boston manager could, huh?
Yeah. So kind of like a World Series. It does have something to do with the World Series because on this date, Phillies can get their 57 all-time win, and I believe they can give Boston their 65th all-time loss.
Well, you just caught my attention by saying he can get his 114th loss. You're right. That means if he lost both games, he'd get his 115th loss, and Philadelphia also equals 115. Just like the full name of the Phillies manager, Gabe, middle name Kapler, equals 115. And if Boston did lose both, they would get to 61 losses, and Philadelphia's 61. So,
Yeah, I kind of like Phillies with what I just seen.
Yeah, I hear what you just said. That made a lot of sense. So it could be going that way. Yeah, great observation. All right.
Yeah,
Thanks. Okay. Yeah, it's very possible the Phillies do take both these games against Boston. Boston's slumping right now. They just lost their pitcher, who was a big part of their success last year. And Phillies aren't out yet. They are not out, but they should have won on Sunday, so that was strange. All right. So again, this game the game's in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's 96, big number in that city. Riddle's on the board. I got to assume that's where it's going. Did Sonny Gray pitch in? No, he pitches in Miami next. So it'd make more sense to become 9-6 in Cincinnati. Remember last year on September 6th, 2018, that was the Thursday, the opening day of the NFL season. And the news story that morning was that a bank got robbed in Cincinnati, a 5/3 bank, 5-3, like the year of Super Bowl 53. It wasn't an accident that was on 9-6 in Cincinnati. So, see if they're showing us who pitches tomorrow in this game. Paddock pitches tomorrow. Tomorrow, Paddock could get his 8th win of the season versus the Reds. Reds 19, the 8th prime. So, I think there's a good chance they split today and tomorrow. Didn't Castillo just pitch? All right. But yeah, that's Sonny Gray 9-6 Riddle. To me, that's a better riddle than them getting the 67th loss on the 67 day. It's always best to try to pick out the games though where there's not really any, because you can find games where there's no riddles going against a team, and those games usually go the way we're expecting a lot more often than not. Anytime you got one riddle there, it is something to fret over, but still like Sonny Gray 9-6. It's like if you think of an analogy like you're at the store in the produce section, you're picking out some fruits or vegetables, you know what you're doing. You're picking out the ones that aren't too ripe, the ones that don't have the blemishes. It's just like doing the same thing with these games. So now Keuchel, he's been really good about in his matchups where he's had a connection with his career win and loss. He's been right on the money. His head-to-head record's a little bit tricky today because he could become 4-5 or 3-6. That's connects to Miami both ways. But let's see if his career numbers say something about the Marlins here. Keuchel, so he could stay on 68 career losses. Miami Marlins is 68. I don't think there's an 80 connection. Whoops, wrong thing. Stay on 68 losses. All right. I'll make a note about that. Keuchel can stay on 68 career losses. Miami Marlins is 68. Keuchel can... If the Marlins lose 2 games, they'll have 41 away losses. Today's the 40-date numerology, right? They can get the 40th loss on the 40 date. They can get the 41st loss on the 41 date. Braves is 41. 41's the 13th prime number. The Marlins wear the M on their cap, 13. Oh, Atlanta's a huge favorite. Let me just see what this guy's got going on in case there's an upset narrative. But it's looking like this is a Braves day. So that date numerology's there. He can get his 13th loss today, too, against the Braves. Braves 41, the 13th prime. So, yeah. Miami can get 40th away loss on 40 date numerology, too. Yeah, Braves aren't a good payout, but I think that is where that's going. I think the Marlins should lose today and tomorrow. So that could be a way to make the bet more worth your while if you wanted to parlay today and tomorrow for the Braves to win. I haven't done the research on tomorrow's game, but the date numerology has me thinking it's going there. Do these teams play on Thursday, or does the series end Wednesday? Let's see, suspended games going on. Marlins. So they play Thursday too. If Soroka lost, he'd be 10-3, like 103, the 27th prime. Miami's 27. Hold on, let me come back to my date numerology for a second, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So there was one thing going against Atlanta today with the date numerology. It was that they could get their 22nd loss in the NL East. So that was one thing with the date numerology that did go against Atlanta. That would be the upset narrative right there. Braves is 22. But again, Braves is 41, and wonder if it follows this path instead, so they get the 41st loss on the 41 date. Let's see what these teams have done against each other this year. Get the head-to-head record for some more confirmation of what we're thinking. Caller?
Hey Zach, good rising. Hey, I have a quick question. Cause it's gonna start at 11 o'clock in probably like 20 minutes from now or 15. But who are you going for? Texas or LA?
So
yesterday I went live on the Rangers.
So they switched around the pitchers. That they switched the order of the pitchers that were going today.
For Angels?
Well, they swapped the pitchers around. The guys who are now pitching the first game were going to pitch the second game at first. So I'm not exactly sure why they did that, but I like the Angels to win 2 out of the 3 games between today and tomorrow. So what I offered as a strategy is you can take the Angels all 3 games. You should win at least 2 of those bets. And the reason I like them to win 2 out of 3 is because if they do, they'll only have 66 losses. Their next loss is 66. Texas is 66. And if the Rangers only win 1 out of the next 3, they'll have 37 home wins. Los Angeles is 37, so is Rangers. Today, Heaney can get his 19th career win with the Angels. It's a 67 date numerology, the 19th prime. So that's Heaney's riddle to win. And then the pitcher who's going later for the Angels, Berea, if he wins, he'll be 5-2 versus Texas for his career. Texas Rangers is 52. Just like how yesterday, by the Rangers winning, they became 5-2 versus the Angels at home. That 52 seems to play a lot with the Rangers. My only concern about Berea is that if he lost, he'd be 4-7. Today has lesser date numerology of 47. Arlington also equals 47, where Texas plays. But I really do like the Angels to win 2 out of 3. So I think if you bet each Angels game, if the Angels won both today, then you could probably take Texas tomorrow. But if the Angels lost one today, I think they'd get Mike Minor tomorrow. If Mike Minor lost tomorrow, he'd become 11-8. He's the Rangers pitcher going tomorrow. If he lost tomorrow, he'd be 11-8. Los Angeles, California's 118. He'd also get his 58th career loss. Angels is 58. And I know he had one riddle that could go in his favor tomorrow. Oh, it's the one thing that could go for Minor tomorrow if the Angels won both today is he could get his 12th win of the season. Los Angeles is also 37, the 12th prime. But my strategy would be to take Angels probably both games today. There's a chance they could split today, but if they do, I'd take them again tomorrow and win 2 out of 3 because I'm pretty sure that's where it's going.
Hey, and then one more question. Like, how about the scores? Do you think that, like, you know how the last scores, like, since yesterday was like 7-8? You think that has to do with anything too, like the birthday of certain players?
Well, like yesterday was the 19th of the month, and 19's the 8th prime, so the winning run was the 8th on the 19th. There's usually riddles in the scores though, so yeah, it could be tributes to players, coaches, yeah.
Yeah, because I just bounced off of when you were speaking. I'm like, man, I was thinking about the scores because I was trying to like bring that back up, and then you just brought it back out of me. I was like, whoa, that makes kind of more sense. I was like, maybe that's another tool for us to use. You know what I mean?
Oh, and we always do use it. I mean, that's how we get our crack at overs and unders. It's like the preseason football game yesterday. We thought the 49ers coach might improve to 5-5, and he did. And the 49ers won with 24 points. That's hilarious because the 49ers won Super Bowl 24 over the Broncos with 55 combined points. The score was 45-10. And just like I said yesterday, Super Bowl 50 was a tribute to that Super Bowl, and that's why the Broncos won with 24 points in Super Bowl 50, which was hosted by the 49ers.
So. Dude, that's freaking crazy.
Yeah.
I think that's really powerful when we use the scores. That's like really strong. Like you know how like the Super Bowl 3 and 13. That would have been nice if we got that one too. Like a number because I heard somebody won like for number points of 3. He won like $100,000. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, but dude, that's gonna be amazing if we use that often more. I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah. All right, take care, man.
Yeah.
All right, see you. I imagine he's a newer subscriber. I think first time we called in, but yeah, scores are definitely something we talk about. So the scores that's how you can see that the games are scripted, and that's how I picked up on it in the first place. You know, when I first learned this code, I just started to see how many scores were like the Gematria of the cities they were playing. I was like, wait a minute. So if you learn to do this in your head and you start to memorize what certain things equal, you'll see it in real time as you watch the TV. That's what happened to me years ago. That's how I figured out it was this way. Okay. So Marlins have a tiny upset narrative, but I think the more likely narrative is for them to lose today and tomorrow to get that 41st away loss on the 41 date. Braves 41 the 13th prime, M the 13th letter. I suspect that's where that's going. I don't know if I would bet the Braves individually, though, today, just because they don't pay anything and there's a little bit of risk. But if I did bet the Braves, I would probably parlay them for today and tomorrow. All right, the Brewers and the Cardinals. Again, we like the Cardinals to win 2 out of 3 in this series. And tomorrow, Wainwright's on the mound. And remember what's important about Wainwright. If he loses, he'll be 9-9. Here he is right here. Wainwright is 9-8 on the season. If he loses, he'll be 9-9. Brewers equals 99. And Wainwright, he has 157 career wins right now, which is the 37th prime. Milwaukee's 37, so he could stay on that. So I will have to reevaluate that if the Cardinals lost today. But I'm thinking because of that, the Cardinals probably win. Again, I like the Cardinals to win 2 out of 3 because they'll get the 36th home win. The Brewers will get the 36th away loss. Brewers 36, Cardinals 36. And the Cardinals do have the date numerology in their favor today. They can get the 67th win on the 67 date. So that's another thing to consider. Let's look a little bit more at the pitchers. Gio Gonzalez for the Brewers. His next career loss is 99. That's interesting. He's 5-1 with Milwaukee. Well, the riddle for him to win would be to become 6-1 because St. Louis Cardinals is 61. Could fall to 2-2 on the 22 date numerology. Let me see. Gotta jot this down. So the narrative so far that I see that could go in Milwaukee's favor is just that Gio Gonzalez could be 6-1 with Milwaukee because St. Louis Cardinals is 61. But again, he can also fall to 2-2 on the 22-date numerology. And one other thing I'm spotting right here is that he could get his 67th career loss in the National League on the 67 date. So he's got two things with the date numerology going against him. His record with Milwaukee, though, could make sense with a win. So 2 strikes against, 1-4. And he's going against Waka. So Waka could also fall to 6-7 on the 67 date. Let's see. He's 59-38. Um, 59-38. Those numbers don't go with the Brewers. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure they don't. I'm going to have to look at who these guys pitch against next. Wow, 6-0 versus the Brewers. Caller?
I just wanted to add a couple things about this game. So, there was already the connection with Skaggs in the early Angels game. I mean, the thing that was pointed out to me by Auspicious, it's one of the guys in the Discord. Skaggs equals 205 in Jewish. It starts at 2:05 p.m. Eastern. So that was interesting. But the thing with this Cardinals game, so we're already assuming that tomorrow would be the loss for the Cardinals, and then today they're winning 2 out of 3 in the series because of the record sync. Then it would fit with Walker getting the win or no decision. But it seems more likely he will get the decision. So he has 59 regular season, 4 playoff wins, 63 total. He could get to 64. Skaggs equals 64. Skaggs passed on Walker's birthday, July 1st. And the Cardinals can, of course, get their 67th win, the 19th prime. Skaggs equals 19 in full production. It's 38 days after Skaggs' birthday. And Brewers can stay on 64 season wins to sync with Skaggs equals 64. And Waka can stay on 38 regular season losses, like us, 38 days since Skaggs' birthday. And then both 63 and 64 connect to Skaggs, so Waka's on that 63 total career wins, including postseason. Tyler Skaggs equals 63 single production. So someone else also had pointed out to me that the Brewers pitcher Gio Gonzalez, born 1909, 199 is the 46 prime, so there's another like 6'4", 4'6" kind of connection. So definitely kind of lines up with what we were thinking ahead of time.
Okay, well, some good observations. That's interesting. That so Waka's birthday is July 1st. You said the day that Skaggs died.
Yeah, and I think they were friends too.
I know Skaggs pitched for the Diamondbacks before the Angels.
And I think one of their Brewers had a connection to Skaggs as well. I forget which one. Maybe it was Braun or someone else. One of them took a day off to go to his funeral, I believe.
Okay.
So there might be something there, especially if there is a connection with the Angels today. So it's just something to think about.
All right, appreciate it. All right, let's see. How many days again is it? From then to then? 50 days or a span of 51 days. Time flies. Okay, but it really does make sense if Wainwright loses tomorrow to the Brewers, and thinking that the Cardinals are going to split today and tomorrow, that makes me give the edge to the Cardinals. I wanted to see who these guys face next as well for another clue, just because you got riddles going both ways with the pitchers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they're going to face each other again. And what's their head-to-head versus each other this year? All right, let's see the head-to-head. St. Louis Cardinals. Versus the Atlanta Braves. No, Milwaukee Brewers. 203 wins, 155 losses. Their next home win's 99. How perfect. Oh, yeah, we were talking about that. Wait a minute. Did they update this yet? Maybe this isn't updated. Why is everything so slow to update today? Yeah. Who's ever running this website is slow today. They don't have anything updated. So be careful if you're using Pro Baseball Reference. They haven't updated yesterday's games yet. Normally they're done by now. Alright, so Cardinals have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus one more win. So they have 6 wins, really. 6 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 6-5 versus the Brew Crew this year. Guess if they won 2 in a row, they'd get to 8-5. That was the other scenario for the Cardinals, was to win all 3. That's why to win the series, at least win 2 or 3. So that means that really this isn't showing the updated game. So really the Brewers or the Cardinals are 99-81 versus the Brewers right now. The only thing that makes me worry about that is Brewers is 99 and Milwaukee Brewers is 82. But Milwaukee might also... Is Milwaukee also 100? Yeah, it is. So if they won 1 and lost 1, they'd be 182. That could also make sense. So again, Gonzalez could fall to 2-2 on the season on a 22 date. He could get his 67th career loss in the NL. 67 date. The narrative for Gonzalez to win would be to become 6-1 versus Milwaukee. St. Louis Cardinals is 61. The narrative against Wacha is that he could fall to 6-7 on the 67 date. And Wacha, he's 6-0 versus the Brewers, so he's played very well against them. But if he did lose, he would be 6-1. St. Louis Cardinals is 61, so it's a little bit hairy just because the riddles go both ways. Cardinals do have a shot at that 67th win on the 67 date. But I like the Cardinals to win at least 2 or 3, possibly even sweep the series. If they swept, they'd get to 37 home wins. Milwaukee's 37, but the overlap's with 36. And it would make more sense as of right now if Wainwright lost tomorrow. So got to lean Cardinals on that one. Second game of the doubleheader. Again, I expect the Angels to win 2 of the remaining 3 games with the Rangers. There's a chance they could even win all 3, but I expect them to win at least 2 or 3. And both Angels pitchers have riddles that make sense today in the doubleheader. The pitcher game 1 can get his 19th career win on the 67 date, 67 the 19th prime. Berea can also become 5-2 versus the Rangers for his career. Texas Rangers 52. The concern for Berea is that if he lost, he'd be 4-7, like 47. Arlington's 47, where the Rangers play. It's a lesser date numerology of 47. And looking at Mike Minor pitching tomorrow for the Rangers, there's reasons in his record that he could lose as well. So the thing to think about with that is if the Angels are going to take 2 out of 3, there is a chance they lose one today. But I still think if you bet the Angels both games today, there's a chance you get both. And if you don't get both, you should be able to bet the Angels again tomorrow and win, because it looks very promising that they'll get 2 out of the next 3. This Bronk Burke's making his debut, so hard to say what he's going to do. Tyler Beede, I think he's the guy who wears number 38, is he? Giants is 38 if Beede lost. He'd fall to 3-8. And if he won, he could get to 4-7 is the lesser date numerology of 47. Let me see. Cubs have a chance at that 67th win on the 67 day. And just thinking about key numbers here. The Giants' next away win is 35. Chicago's 35. They're on 63 wins. Cubs is 63. You know, if the Giants lost today, they'd be 63-63. Cubs is 63. That would be pretty symbolic. That would make some good sense right there. To be 63-63 versus the Cubbies, plus Tyler Beede at 3-8, where Giants is 38. Let's look a little bit more here. Yeah, he is number 38, Tyler Beede. Let me make this note about the Giants. Giants can fall to 63-63. Cubs equals 63. All right, and Tyler Beede, he's 3-8 for his career. God, I remember the year the Cubs won the Rig World Series. They had that old guy on the team that was 39 years old, and I forget what I was saying about 39 in Chicago that year. Maybe it was just something about that player. He now calls games on ESPN. Let's see who he faces next anyway. If he faced New York next, that'd be perfect. Tyler Beede. Or what's not what I want. Giants schedule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, well, that's perfect too. He'll face Arizona next. Arizona's 39. So the reason I was thinking New York's because New York's 39. So if he lost today to get to 3-8, he could lose to Arizona and become 3-9. Beede will face Arizona next. Arizona equals 39. Okay, so there's that. And we can check his splits with the Cubbies. Cubs. He's 0-1 versus the Cubs with a 6.35 ERA. Was that game at Wrigley? No, it wasn't. All right, let's look at Hamels. Hamels is 162 and 118. Perfect. He could get his 163rd win, the 38th prime, Giants 38, and he could stay on 118 losses, that big important number to San Francisco. Just like how we saw Bumgarner get his 118th career win in the Bay Area series. He could stay on 97 losses versus the NL as well, the 25th prime. Giants 25. That would also give him his 125th win versus the NL. So that looks good right there. $163, 38th prime, just like again, Giants is 38. Tyler Beede falls to 3-8. Giants become 63-63 versus the Cubs. I think Wrigley's actually 63 too, besides just Cubs. Let me double check. Or no, Wrigley's 36, maybe Wrigley Field? Wrigley Field 63. Cubs 63. So, okay. Yeah, I like the Cubs. That looks good. Only riddle that I could see for Tyler Beede is just becoming 4-7 on the 47-day, but the Giants' numbers are a lot more important in my opinion. Cubs also going for that 67th win on the 67-day. And I only expect the Giants to win one in this series to get to 35 for Chicago. Notice Tyler Beede does come in 3-7 to face Chicago, right? Chicago's 37 as well, so. Okay. Now here's the game that this looks like the kind of game where maybe the Tigers could upset. If I remember right, the Tigers are on 22 losses versus the AL West. So they could possibly stay on 22 on this 22 date and pick up the 23rd tomorrow. The reason the Tigers have a narrative to upset is to get that 38th win, because Astros is 38, but Astros is also 20, and they're at 20 away wins if they stayed parked there. Astros could get the 47th loss on the lesser date numerology of 47. They're on 44 home wins. Detroit's 44. All right, let's see what we got for numbers. Turnbull. Turnbull's 3-13. He could get his 14th career loss. Astros is 43, the 14th prime. Let me jot that down. Turnbull can get 14th career loss. Astros equals 43, 14th prime. His fourth win. Well, all the date numerology does break down to 4 today. Turnbull can get 4th career win. Date numerology breaks down to 4 today. Houston equals 112, 31, 40. All break down to 4. Okay. Has he ever faced the Astros before? Caller?
Hey, I just want to add something real quick. So, if you want to live bet the Angels, it looks like this one is going to be an easy win for them in the morning game. They already have 2-0, but the thing that stood out, they got to hit the first at bat on, I think, like the second or third pitch. But now the box score shows that 2-2 and 22 date numerology. And then if they win the morning game, they should definitely win the night game, because the night game is the one that syncs up the night record with tomorrow.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's just something for people to keep an eye on, but it will fit in with today's 167 day numerology and Hebrew calendar. Los Angeles Angels equals 167.
Are you using the primary Hebrew calendar? Because you're using the one that's less common. That's why I just keep kind of discounting that when you're saying that, because you're using the uncommon Hebrew calendar for the date numerology.
I mean, I just use the one that Microsoft uses by default for Hebrew, and so I would assume that the default that people are using in conjunction with the leap year is what works. And plus, I've seen it work out exactly as I thought. I mean, there was I keep mentioning that Red Sox series where it was 169, 170, and 171 with Roel Colwell. Fit in Boston Red Sox equals 170, Jose Alexander Cora equals 170. And the main thing that I want to point out with that is usually the English ordinal cipher that it has the overlap between the primary Hebrew, the numerology, and the team name. And when that happens, it's like gold. Same thing happened a couple Mondays ago, where the Rangers had 151 day numerology and Hebrew calendar, and they won because Texas Rangers equals 151. And I think that they also had 51 day numerology as well. So,
Right. Because it's been synced up like that for a minute now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
So I think it will continue, and that's why today, 2 games on the same thing, it's like you no longer have to think about the rule of Colel because it's just a direct overlap today. Plus, with the Skaggs tribute, I mean, it seems like it's going to be in the books. But anyways, I just wanted to add that. Thanks.
All right, yep, good observation. That's weird that Microsoft uses that for their calendar, because, yeah, I forget, there's 2 Hebrew calendars, and the one he's using is the less common one, so. Okay, but Cubbies look good. I want to know if the Tigers can upset the Astros today. All right, we got to look at. All right, so Turnbull had not faced the Astros. Now we got to see Aaron Sanchez, what he's got going on. Aaron Sanchez, he's 34-33. He could stay on 33 losses. Tigers is 33. He's 2-0 with Houston since coming over. He had a really bad year with Toronto for wins and losses. Let's see. Detroit. He's 3-0 versus Detroit, so he could become 4-0 on this 40-date numerology. Houston equals 31 and 40. Sanchez is 3-0 versus Detroit. 40-date numerology. Houston equals 31-40. Who pitches tomorrow in this series? Verlander pitches tomorrow. And let's see. He used to pitch for Detroit, right? So I got to imagine this is going to be symbolic. What's his record at? .219 and 127. 127 the 31st prime. Houston 31. He can get his 37th career win with Houston tomorrow, and Detroit's 37 in the most pure cipher. So how perfect. So Verlander should win tomorrow, and I think tomorrow's the last game of the series. Oh, never mind. Never mind, there's 2 left. So Detroit has 3 opportunities to get this 38th win. Zimmerman 1-8. Garrett Cole. Let's see. Cole's 88-52. $29-10. I mean, just looking at who they face the next 3 days, you'd think if they are gonna pull out one, this would probably be the game. Again, there's a chance they don't pull out any and they just stay on 20 away wins because Astros is 20 in the most pure cipher. Just think if they lost 3 in a row, they'd have 88 loss. Oh, you know what? I might have to pull the plug on this idea of the Tigers winning one. If the Astros do win the next 3 games, they'll have 83 wins. I think we talked about this yesterday and I forgot. My fault. Detroit Tigers equals 83. Detroit Michigan equals 83. The city's on the 83rd meridian. That's probably where this is going. Caller?
Hey, what up, Zach?
Hey.
I got, did you do the Baltimore Orioles game yet?
Yeah.
Who you got? Who you think is going to win that game?
As I recall, this wasn't a game that I was thrilled about today. Let me see.
All right.
I'm going back to my notes to make sure there's not something I forgot about that game. Yeah, the reason I don't like this game is both teams have a shot with the date numerology. The Royals can get their 22nd away win on the 22 date and stay on 41 losses. Baltimore's 41. Tomorrow's a 41 date numerology. They could slide in on those 41 losses.
Okay.
The Orioles also have a chance at their 40th win with the 40 date numerology. So you got the date numerology on both sides. The Orioles have lost 8 in a row. I was commenting earlier that teams who've lost 8 in a row, they've seemed to be winning in the 9th game. So if the Orioles win today, that trend would continue. But I'm still not confident in the Orioles. Bundy could also get his 14th loss of the season with the Orioles, and KC's been dishing out 14 left and right. But I'd still shy away from that game because you got date numerology on both sides.
No, I thought, I don't know, I gotta double check. I thought the Orioles have lost 9 in a row. I might be wrong though.
Yesterday was the 8th straight loss. That's why we like the Orioles to lose yesterday, because it was the 19th of the month, the 8th prime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the only reason I was saying that because I don't know. So the Orioles, they're playing like a team that are the same tier as them. They're like it's one of the worst teams, the Royals. So I just thinking, and they're playing at home. So and I mean, it's going to be a 3-game series. So worse if they might. I don't think that. I just don't think they might get swept.
Well,
I don't know.
Going with your thought, if that's the way you're thinking, I pointed out also if the Orioles won today and tomorrow, they'd get their 40th win on the 40 date, the 41st win on the 41 date, which is tomorrow. Baltimore equals 41, and they'd stay at 86 losses. Kansas City Royals is 86. So there is a chance the Orioles win 2 in a row here.
I mean, I'm just thinking at least once because I don't think it's it's one of the worst team and they're on an 8-game losing streak. So hey, and they're playing at home. So it just the percentage. I'm just thinking the percentage. Most likely they get a chance to win. There's a good percentage for them to win 1 game.
Well, I hear your logic in a big way, and like I said, the teams that we've seen lose 8 in a row lately, they've won in that 9th game, ending the streak there. So
and for some reason. They lost 8 in a row, and for some reason, Vegas have them as a favorite, as -120.
You know what else? One thing I was sleeping on with the Orioles is they can get their 19th home win today. Today also has 67 date numerology, the 19th prime, and Kansas City equals 67. So, yeah.
And I also have some information about this Thursday game, the football game. So, the Packers are going to be playing the Oakland Raiders this Thursday, and they're going to be playing like in Winnipeg, Canada. So yeah. So something I noticed from that the last time they played in Canada, they played the NFL preseason game. They played it was in Toronto, and Oakland is a kind of like California game team, like kind of the Golden State.
Right.
So, and then from the other side, you got the Green Bay Packers. A new coach. The new coach, his name is Matt LaFleur. LaFleur kind of has like that French name. Most of the majority people of Canada speak French.
Right. Yeah.
So I gotta lean maybe the Packers for that.
That's a great observation.
And something else. I don't know if you got the news. Obama high school jersey number 23. Basketball jersey sold for like $120,000 on auction.
Presidential Inauguration Day, January 20th. Also, Illuminati equals 120. What day did that happen?
I just saw it today. I think maybe a day ago came out.
I wonder if it happened Sunday, because Sunday was 18/8, 188. Bavarian Illuminati 188. I'd have to look at that.
All right. Well, that's all I got for today.
All right. Appreciate it, Izzy. Take care, man.
All right. You too. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. All right, so actually there's 2 things with the date numerology for the Orioles that I was sleeping on. So the Royals can get the 22nd win on the 22 date, which is true. And I do prefer that date numerology path the most. But the Orioles can get the 40th win on the 40 date. Yesterday that path was perfect. And they can get the 19th home win. Today's the 67 date, the 19th prime. That would end the losing streak. and it would set up the Orioles to potentially get to 41 wins on the 41 date, Baltimore 41, and stay at 86 losses because Kansas City Royals is 86. So let me jot that down. If Orioles win 2 straight, they'll stay on 86 losses. Kansas City Royals equals 86. Okay. Angels are looking good. Let's see if did they just have the bases loaded with no outs? Now there's 1 out. I've seen so many teams not score in this situation this year. This year is just so goofy. It's the goofiest year of baseball in my life. Where were we at? Yeah, I'm really thinking the Astros can win 3 in a row here. Did I write that down? Maybe I didn't write it down. If Astros win 3 straight, they'll have 83 wins. Detroit Tigers, 83. Detroit, Michigan, 83. And Detroit on the 83rd parallel. So that's probably what's going to happen. That'll keep the Tigers on 20 away wins, which is Astros 20. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so I took a little hiatus. I wasn't betting on sports for a while, and yesterday started betting again, and I had 2 losses yesterday. It was the Angels and the Twins.
How'd you do on the rest of your picks?
I won on all of them except for the Angels and the Twins. The Niners game, I bet on that one. You know, you were talking about the 55 that came through.
And it was perfect. Did you hear what I was saying about that? Because Super Bowl 24, 55 combined points. Yeah.
Yeah, and so yeah, it was weird because like the Angels were winning, you know, the whole game, and then all of a sudden,
collapse.
They lost in extra innings.
Remember what we said about that game yesterday. That was the only game where the date numerology didn't come through. But if the Rangers won yesterday, they were going to be 5-2 versus the Angels in the division record head-to-head this year. And Texas Rangers is 52. So that was the big concern about the Angels game yesterday.
Yeah. So that one, and then the Twins game were the two games that I lost on.
The Twins game, I'm trying to remember. Here, let me look at what happened yesterday on that. Twins game, I'm just got to jog my memory. White Sox. So I remember what I said about that game yesterday. I said my one concern is if the White Sox win, the Twins will be 7-4, and Chicago White Sox is 74.
Yeah. And the one thing that I had looked at was that 27th home loss, because you know yesterday had the 27th date numerology, and I was a little concerned about that, but you know I still bet on them because you know it's the Twins versus the White Sox. The White Sox weren't really very good, you know.
But that's exactly how they get gamblers, though, because that's the logical thought.
But yeah, the thing I wanted to talk about was it was so funny because so I was watching the 49er game, right? And it was like 6-3 or something, and it was like real like low scoring. But the final score ended up being 39 combined points.
And 49ers equals 39.
Yeah, and yes, they had 39 date numerology.
Exactly, right on the money. Yep.
It's so funny, man. Even in preseason games, dude, that they're doing this, man.
It is. It's a joke. And, I mean, that's why when you learn this knowledge and you just watch sports, it's just undeniable what they're doing. And I also love that the 49ers went up 24-9 with the symbolic number, because then there was 33 points on the board, and that number always comes up huge in MNF, because MNF is 33. So.
Yeah, and I was like trying to run it through my head, the possible scenarios for the 39 to hit, right? Because I was thinking about the date numerology. I was like, okay, how are they going to do this, right? So then the quarterback for the Denver Broncos scrambles and scores a touchdown with like 2 minutes left, right? And then they go for 2. I'm like, okay, they're going to go for 2
and not get it. Right, exactly.
And be stopped at 39 points.
Exactly.
And I was like, dude, this is just so funny, man.
That's where you can kill that. People have killed with real-time betting in those types of scenarios, just like what's going to happen with the score, because that's where you can really see it. You know the date numerology, you know the team gematria. You're like, that's why they're doing this here.
Yeah, And
Yeah.
then so afterwards, I'm watching Sports Center, and they're talking about the biggest spread was when the Baltimore Orioles beat the Astros last week on the 11th, and I guess like that was like one of the biggest spreads where Vegas paid out a bunch of money to people who bet on the Baltimore Orioles, right? So then they mentioned,
and that was the game. That was another game where we were like, Baltimore should give the Astros, what was it? Their 41st loss. I think the Astros picked up in that because Baltimore's 41.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So then the sports announcer, I forgot what his name was, but he made this comment. He said, "Who bets on baseball?" And he like looked at the camera and like he made this like smirk. And then they did the highlights of the Astros Tigers game because that was the second biggest spread yesterday.
I see.
And then the Astros obviously won. Like it was like a trap. They're trying to get people to bet on the Tigers, and but I knew the Astros were going to win, so I won on that one. I bet like $1 on that game to put it into my parlay.
Sure.
But yeah. Anyway, so who do you think is like your best bet today?
Well, you're getting here late, but right now one of the games is off to a good start. We like the Angels to win 2 out of 3 versus the Rangers. Good chance the Angels win both today. It's possible the Angels even win 3 straight. But
okay.
So the Angels are up. I actually like this first game a little bit more because I didn't see anything going against the Angels pitcher in this first game. And I mean, there's still a lot of game left, but I expect the Angels to win this one. If the Angels pitcher wins game 2, he'll improve to 5-2 versus the Rangers for his career. Texas Rangers 52. The concern about him is if he lost, he'd be 4-7 on the lesser date numerology of 47. And Arlington's 47 where they play. But I really think if you take the Angels this first game, the later game, and tomorrow, you should hit on at least 2 out of 3 of those. Other games that I'm looking at today, if Steven Matz loses, he'll be 7-8. Cleveland 78, New York 78. And hold on, what was it with Bieber? Hold on, something about Bieber too. 1 second. Bieber can get his 24th career win. Mets is 24. So I'm thinking that's going to happen because both pitchers' riddles make sense on both sides with the win and loss. Pirates have a shot to upset the Nationals today because Strasburg's next career loss is 58 and Pittsburgh's 58. It's just the Pirates have been so crappy and they've squandered so many riddles lately. I mean, they're a little bit risky, but the fact that Strasburg can get that 58th loss, and that's a number that Pittsburgh dishes out, that does stand out. The other thing to consider with Strasburg is his next win this season is 16, just like the Pirates wear P on the hat, which is 16, but that 58th loss does glare out. And I'd watch this Royals-Orioles game. If the Orioles win today, I suspect they'll win tomorrow too. If the Orioles win today, they get their 40th win on the 40-date numerology. They'd get the 19th home win. Today has 67-date numerology. 67 is the 19th prime. Kansas City also equals 67.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
And
that 19.
But the Royals have a narrative today too, so they can get their 22nd away win on the 22-date. But if the Orioles win today and tomorrow, they will get that 41st win on the 41 date. Baltimore's 41. Kansas City actually equals 41 as well. And they would stay at 86 losses, and Kansas City Royals is 86. So I'm kind of leaning Orioles, but again, games where you got numerology on both sides, you're kind of playing with fire. Phillies, they got a shot to win both these games here. It's a 2-game series. If the Red Sox drop both, they will get to 61 losses, big Philadelphia number. And let's see.
Yeah, but the Phillies have been such a big disappointment lately.
Well, they got hot for a second last week, but then they disappointed on Sunday, that's for sure. I really liked them Sunday.
Yeah.
So they got hot, though, in the middle of last week. Bryce Harper had to come out Sunday with cramps, and then they lost the game. He'll be back today. So
yeah, another fake injury, huh?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, come on, with all the trainers and fluids you have over there, a pro athlete can't get back in the game with cramps, something that most beer league softball players can come back from. Come on.
Yeah.
But the Mariners and Rays, did you take advantage of the Mariners winning yesterday?
I stayed away from that game because like the comment you said is like how they always squander the riddles. So like I stayed away from that game, but they ended up coming through with that. But I did take the D-backs, like you said, that they were going to get that win last night. So,
okay, well, I was digging the Mariners though, just because of how well they've played in Tampa Bay, and that manager record, if he wins 2 out of 3, can be 307 and 307, the 63rd prime. Because that manager, out of all the managers I've noticed, he's had some real strong riddles this year for whatever reason.
Right.
So I still don't know who the Mariners pitcher is today. I'd stay away from that game today. But say the Mariners lose today, I'm going to like them tomorrow. And the Mariners should lose 1 because they'll get to 74 losses. Tampa Bay Rays is 74. The Reds game, I'm going to take the Reds in this one just because Cincinnati's 96, and that number plays a lot in Cincinnati. Sonny Gray can improve to 9-6 today. There's not really anything else to go off of in that game. You could say the Reds could pick up their 67th loss on the 67 date numerology, but again, I'm not crazy about that date numerology path. Cincinnati 96, that's something that happens a lot, so Sonny Gray to 9-6. I'm digging that. The Marlins probably lose today and tomorrow. If they do, they'd get their 41st away loss on the 41 date. Braves is 41. 41's the 13th prime. M's the 13th letter. But I wouldn't bet the Braves today because they don't pay anything. The Marlins one riddle to win is that the Braves could get their 22nd loss in the NL East today on the 22 date numerology. Braves is 22. And you could make sense of Keuchel's record either way with a win or loss because Miami's 36 and 45. So Braves don't pay enough to even take the risk, but they probably do win today and tomorrow. Cardinals, like I said yesterday, I like the Cardinals to win 2 out of 3. Tomorrow, Wainwright makes a lot of sense with a loss. So based on that, I'm thinking Cardinals get it today. But honestly, looking at the pitchers today, Gio Gonzalez and Waka, you can make riddles for both of them to win or lose. If Cardinals do win, though, they get the 67th win on the 67 date. We talked about the Angels and Rangers game already. I'm taking the Angels. I just keep betting the Angels until they win 2 out of 3. If they win both today, I'd probably take the Rangers tomorrow, but we'll look at that. Cubs, I like the Cubs today. Cubs look good to me. Tyler Beede falls to 3-8. Giants equals 38. He wears the number 38. Cole Hamels gets his 163rd career win, the 38th prime. Stays on 118 career losses, that big San Francisco number. And the Giants would fall to 63 and 63 for the season. Wrigley Field 63. Cubs is 63. So I like all the symbolism in that. And Giants probably only win 1 in the series to get to 35 away wins because Chicago's 35.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the Astros are probably going to win the next 3 games to get to 83 wins because Detroit Tigers is 83. And that's where I was when you called me. I still got to do the final 4 games here. So.
All right, man. I'll let you go.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Okay. So, White Sox at Twins. Because the White Sox won yesterday, which was a possibility, it screwed up what could have happened if the Twins swept the series. Remember, the Twins could have got to 79 wins and 39 home wins. Chicago White Sox 79, White Sox 39. That's off the table. So, what stands out now is that if the Twins win one of the remaining games, they'll get to 37 home wins. Chicago's 37. If they win 2, they'll get to 38. Minnesota's 38. And I believe that there's just 2 games left in the series. Let me check that. Yeah, just today and tomorrow. And then they're off to play. And the White Sox are off to play the Rangers. Wait a minute. Where was that game at? That's in Chicago. So, Texas Rangers. Thinking about Texas Rangers. Any numbers there? Texas Rangers is 70. If the White Sox lost the next 2 games, they'd be on 70 losses to host the Texas Rangers next. Texas Rangers 70. And here, let's see. Lopez, he's going to pitch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to face the Rangers next. I don't think they have a connection to. If Lopez got a no decision today, If he got a no decision, he'd stay at 7-10. 10-7 backwards is like 107. Rangers is 107. So maybe a no decision in store for him. And Pineda. We'll see who's he going to face next. If he faces the Indians next, this would be perfect. Nope, it's not going to be. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's going to face the same team. How many games? Tigers back to White Sox. All right, so right now the Twins are 7-4 versus the White Sox, right? And isn't it Minnesota Twins 84? I think Minnesota Twins is 84. Twins. Okay, so if the Twins win today, they're 8-4. God, then if they lost, they'd be 8-5. And then they would be just at 37 wins versus Chicago. Okay, so Twins win today. They might lose that third and final game. But yeah, I'm thinking Twins with the W today is making sense to improve to 8-4. Let me add that to my team notes. Twins can improve to 8-4 versus White Sox. Minnesota Twins equals 84. I'll just make this note down here. Twins 85. If they split today and tomorrow. Okay. All right, let's look a little bit more, though, at the pitcher's stats. Just make sure there's nothing else in there that we're overlooking. But I'm thinking that 8-4 division record is where it's at. Ronaldo Lopez could stay on 22 career wins on the 22 date. 17-23 in the AL. Okay, it's not. And then it was Martin Perez, wasn't it? Oh no, Michael Pineda, my fault. Pineda. 48-46. Could get his 47th loss on the lesser date numerology of 47. He's 3-3 versus the White Sox. The 3.08 ERA and 38 innings pitched. Just couldn't be any more Minnesota. Minnesota 38. Alright, hold on. I didn't look at Lopez's splits versus the Twins. I gotta get that real quick. So Ronaldo Lopez is 1-2 versus the Twins. Now he could improve to 2-2 on the 22 date numerology, and Twins equals 22. It also equals 31. Twins wear a TC on their cap for Twin Cities, and that equals 13. Let's see. Ronaldo. Can't spell his name. Actually, does he have a record at, what do they call it, Target Field? He's 0-2 at Target Field. 3 starts, 5.4 ERA. What was the division record here? Twins 23-11 in the West. If they or no Central. 28-17. 24. Yeah, we'll see it. The White Sox have 50 wins versus the AL. Twins is 50. Minnesota has 39 losses versus the AL. White Sox is 39. Twins aren't a great payout tonight. You'd have to bet 210 to win 100. So if you bet 100, you win 50, etc. Who pitches tomorrow? Giolito. Think about that more later. The White Sox next loss is 38 if they were to only lose one more in the series, because again, Minnesota's 38. Let me make sure I'm not missing something with the White Sox. Yeah, it's a little tight. Again, going to that division record, if the Twins win, they are 8-4 versus the White Sox. Minnesota Twins is 84. There's a good chance that the Twins split these next two games. White Sox could win the series here. So, because again, if they won today and lost tomorrow, they'd be 8-5. Twins is 85. And then White Sox would leave the series on 38 losses. But I'm going to say because of the head-to-head division record, just like what we looked at yesterday, today the narrative's with the Twins. Yesterday it was with the White Sox a little bit more. That was the one thing they had going. So, using that same variable, Twins get to 8-4 today. Minnesota Twins 84. All right, Rockies yesterday picked up the 39th loss on the 39-date numerology. Arizona's 39. That got the Diamondbacks back to 63-63, like the name of their field. If the Diamondbacks finish this series 64-64, Rockies is 64. If the Rockies lost today, they would get their 40th loss on the 40-date numerology. The reason 40 could matter is with the alphabetic order, if you write out 40, it's 84, just like Arizona. Same thing. So the date numerology played, but 39 is the more clear connection to Arizona because Arizona's 39. Let's look at Alex Young being 4-4 or 5-3 could make sense because Rockies equals 35, 44, and 53. Kyle Freeland. Who was that pitcher that was number 40? I just had up Lopez, number 40. So Freeland's 31-28 for his career. And his record versus Arizona is... Caller?
Hey, Zach, call you back. I got a question for you, man. I thought about something.
Sure.
Last night, I listened to the Minnesota game. Let me ask a question. Minnesota had a pitcher was 4 points, 5 points something, and the other team had the lowest ERA. What's going on? I mean, y'all, but the ERA, the guy was 2.0 at the end of the game when the other guy came in there, and it was low. What's going on? I don't understand what's going on. And the Minnesota was high ERA the whole game. All the pitcher brought in.
Right. Well, that's how they manipulate people. But like I said, I said I would lay off that Minnesota game yesterday because there was a chance the White Sox could win, and if they did, it would make Minnesota 7-4 versus the White Sox, and Chicago White Sox equals 74. So that was the narrative for the White Sox yesterday that I was a little bit worried about because that number's played out a lot with the White Sox this year, 74.
Man, you was right, man. You know what, man? I thought what you say all morning. I wake up. When I woke up and when I lost last night, and when you said that, it came back in my head. I went to listen to you. Now I listen to you, man. Man, I should listen to you, man.
Did you take the other games yesterday? Because we hit on almost every single game yesterday.
I know, but I had to do one, man. I did the wrong one, man. I'm sorry, man.
Well, that's okay. It's okay. We'll get it back, so no worries, man. But yeah, you got to watch out for those little riddles.
So let me ask you a question. How can you do the picture for bullpen? How can you do it? I mean, for the bullpen on for the pitcher, how can you look into it, though?
Okay, so here's what you'd have to do if you were doing real-time betting. Like, say the game was tied and they brought in a guy, right? And you're like, could the decision go to this guy? So you'd have to go to Pro Baseball Reference and you'd have to look up that pitcher name and look at his stats. And like, let's just make it up. Let's say that this scenario comes up today. Let's say that a game's tied, a middle reliever comes in, and he's 6-6 on the season. And today has 67 date numerology. I'd make the assumption there, like, is this guy going to give up the runs and fall to 6-7 on the year? That type of thing.
Okay, you said pro what now? Sorry, pro what?
So if you just type out a pitcher's name and type stats, if you just do a web search for any player, baseball player, their name, stats, you're going to see in the search a website that's called Pro Baseball Reference, and you just
Pro Baseball Reference.
Yeah, Yep. The website name is actually baseball-reference.com. That's the site.
Okay, I had to keep. See, when I drive truck, it's hard to me do my thing.
Sure.
I want to sit down with you and go through it. I can't do it like that. I have to do it like this right now until I fix it out. So, yesterday y'all was right on the number. Baltimore, you were right on the numbers, man. I'm telling you, man. Man, you know what you're talking about, man. Okay, anybody say about you, man. Man, hey, Zach, you are the best, man. I'm telling you, man. You know your stuff, man.
Well, I appreciate the compliment. So I'm telling you, you guys who actually gamble, though, you guys who are gamblers who have the gambling knowledge, when you take what I'm teaching and use it with your knowledge, you guys can be even better than me. And there are people who follow this work who do better than me because they're more gambling experts. So I'm trying to teach this to people so that they can use it to further themselves from where they're at right now. That's the goal. But I do appreciate the compliment.
Hey, Zach, before you leave me, man, I'll tell you like this. I want everybody to listen to you right now and listen to me real good. If anybody don't believe what you do, they must be retarded, man. You proved it too many times, man. I ain't trying to disrespect the person, but you got to be a real weak-minded, man, to not understand what's going on, man.
You're right on about that. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. So.
As a matter of fact, back in the 80s, when I was a little kid, I knew that my father's game was fixed. I ain't know it neither. My father's game fixed, man. I can tell, man.
Right.
I can tell in the playoffs, the players look blue in the face, man. Come on, man. You look scared now.
Exactly.
They look scared, they scared to play ball now.
Exactly.
Be good. Like Carolina Panthers, remember, I'm against John Elway. That John with the Peyton Manning Super Bowl, remember? Man, the other guy, wasn't that Cam Newton? Looked like Pam Newton.
Yeah, man. When Cam Newton fumbled the ball at the end of the game and just looked down at his feet and just stared at it. He just stared at it. He didn't even try to pick it up. It's like, come on, this is the biggest game of your life.
Man, he was scared to play ball.
That's exactly right, man. Cam Newton. Well said.
Okay, Zach, no problem. I listen. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, take care, man. Thank you.
All right, there you go.
Baseball player, their name stats. You're going to see in the search.
All right, yeah, that was a good line. Cam Newton did look like Pam Newton, and we destroyed that Super Bowl. We had it all. We even knew the halftime performance. And then last night was a tribute in a way to that, because again, the Broncos won that Super Bowl hosted by the 49ers with 24 points, and they got blown out in Super Bowl 24 by the 49ers, 55 combined points. John Elway was 55 years old when they played that Super Bowl in San Francisco, Super Bowl 50. And then, of course, Peyton Manning, Colts to Broncos, just like Elway, drafted by the Baltimore Colts, traded to the Broncos. And then Andrew Luck went to Stanford, like John Elway. That's something to be thinking about with Andrew Luck. Just how all these riddles come together. Because, again, he has parallels with John Elway. Stanford dudes, Colts. So I still think, man, maybe Tom Brady has to be out of the league for Luck to do his thing. But for those of you who are younger, Andrew Luck was like the most hyped quarterback in the history of college quarterbacks. They said he was better than everybody, and he's been all right in the NFL, but he hasn't been like his college hype. So, okay, Kyle Freeland, Alex Young. We're trying to figure this out here. So Freeland versus Arizona. He's 3-3. If he won, he'd be 4-3. Colorado's 43, so I'm going to jot that down here. Freeland is 3-3 versus Arizona. Colorado equals 43. And what was he for his career? 31-28. Those numbers don't play. Well, we can see who he faces next. Like if he's facing an opponent that equals 33 next or something, he'd have to win today to have a chance at 33. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll face the Cardinals next. Those numbers aren't going to matter though either. All right, and Alex Young. I forget this guy's numbers are. Yeah, that's all he's got. So he's 4-3 coming in to face Colorado, right? Colorado 43. And again, Rockies equals 35, 44, and 53. So you can make an argument for where his record could go either way. Rockies is 35, and the most pure cipher, the reflection of 53. Rockies. He's 1-0 versus the Rockies. 1 start, 6 innings pitched, no earned runs. And let's see what he has at Chase Field. He's 1-2 at Chase Field. So he could improve to 2-2 on the 22 date. Again, what Arizona has going in their favor today is the date numerology, because the Rockies can get the 40th loss on the 40 date. And here, let's see who pitches tomorrow. See if we can get some extra information. Mike Leake. Leake's next career loss is 97, if I'm not mistaken. John Gray's 12-8. Let me just look at this real quick. John Gray's 43-33. That's not helpful. Leaks 102-96. 80-77 in the NL. I think the Rockies have an 81 connection. Wait, 80. He could stay on 80 wins against the Rockies. All right, now one more thing to look at. 72. Okay, so we don't have a lot that we can really bite into for this game. The date numerology was good yesterday. For a week and a half, it's been generally good. There's been a couple bad days in there. Mediocre day, a couple bad days, mostly good days. It's been mostly reliable. For those of you who are more recent, like there's been periods where the date numerology just stays hot for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. I mean, that's when I'm not talking this way. I'm just saying, remember, the date numerology is hot right now, and it's been a while since it's been like that. I think the last time it was hot was in May, so it's been a minute since it was hot. But yeah, that's the one thing that's there. The Rockies can get the 40th away loss if there's a tiebreaker, because you can make arguments for the pitchers either way. And Well, I guess I could think about one more thing, who these teams are playing next by the end of this series. The Rockies face the Cardinals. So, was that away? If the Rockies only won one more game, they'd have 25 away wins. St. Louis is 25. Teams often will go in on the number that corresponds with the opponent. Sometimes they come in one short so they can pick it up. So the way that would speak is the Rockies either split today and tomorrow, or maybe they lose both. But with the date numerology going against the Rockies, I would lean Diamondbacks today. Yankees on the road versus the Athletics. If Homer Bailey loses, he's 10-9. Yankees is 109. That stands out right away. A little bit abstract here. If German won, he'd get his 17th win. Remember, Oakland Athletics equals 277. That's the 59th prime number, just like how they got their 59th win on 27/7, July 27th. But 59 is also the 17th prime number. So you have to do 2 prime number relationships with their team name to get to 17. But it is there. If the Yankees win 2, they get to 85, the reflection of 58. Oakland 58, big number there. They come in on 34 away wins. Athletics 34. The Athletics would have to win 3 to get to the meaningful number against the Yankees. New York Yankees 74. New York Yankees 191, the 43rd prime. How many games is this series? One, two, three. 3-game series. So they'd have to win all 3. They'd have to win all 3 to make that happen. Let's see the head-to-head between these teams. All right. Actually, I want to look at it from Oakland's perspective. So the Athletics have a major losing record at home versus the A's. 423 and 520. You see if 521's prime. 521's the 98th prime number. That's their next loss. One, two, three. So they're 3-3 against each other. The Yankees are 2-1 in Oakland. Now that's interesting because if they lost, they'd fall to 2-2, right? Oakland's 22 in the most pure cipher. Oakland is also 31, but today's date numerology is 22. So let me add that down here in the team riddles. Yankees are 2-1 at Oakland in 2019. Oakland equals 22 and 31. Again, 22 is more pure. Whoa, why'd that happen? 22 date numerology. And if the Yankees lost, so Yankees are 3-4 versus Athletics. Or no. Are 3-3 versus Athletics in 2019 altogether. Athletics equals 34 in the more pure cipher. Also 43, but that 34 is more pure and more potent. The A's could become 4-3 versus the Yankees. New York Yankees equals 191, 43rd prime. But Yankees falling to 2-2 on this date would make some good sense. Let's look a little bit more at the pitchers. Again, Homer Bailey, if he falls to 10-9, Yankees is 109. That's hard to overlook. If the Athletics did drop the first game, they'd stay on 40 home wins on the 40 date. They could pick up the 41st win on the 41 date. Oakland is 41 as well. So this one's game's on ESPN. Well, for my caller who's not calling in right now, he's probably working. I'm sure he already bet the Yankees to win today because that's exactly he loves when the numbers line up with ESPN on an ESPN game. Athletics can get the. I'll make a separate category here. I'll say network riddles. A's can get 54th loss on ESPN. ESPN equals 54, just like baseball. And again, it started out as a baseball network. And by the way, I had ESPN on yesterday, and Tim Kirkshin, I'm sure if you follow ESPN, you know who that is, the little squirrely guy that's like their baseball expert. He guaranteed the Cardinals were going to make the playoffs, one way or another. And remember, St. Louis equals 115. They're the only team in the league that equals 115 with the alphabetic order. We had our eyes on them at the beginning of the year, but they got off to such a bad start, but they've turned it around. So again, Homer Bailey falling to 10-9, Yankees 109. That stands out in a big way. Staying on 40 wins on the 40 date, picking up the 41st tomorrow, that could make a bundle of sense. Picking up the 54th loss on ESPN, that could make some sense. There is a narrative for the Athletics to sweep. They'd have to win 3 straight to hit the meaningful numbers against the Yankees. It's just Yankees aren't a team that are getting swept by anybody this year, so got to have some imagination for that one. Let's look a little bit more at the pitchers. German is 18. Oh, so German could get his 19th win today as well on this 67 date. Where's my pitcher riddles at? Where did it go? Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so Athletics and A's equals 34, and they could, the Yankees could be 3-4 in the series against
right.
Like a loss.
Right, I noted that, and they could also fall to 2-2 at Oakland this year.
Yeah. So do you think it's strong for them to get that upset today?
I would say the Athletics definitely have a narrative looking at the head-to-head records this year. That's their strongest riddle is that the Yankees becoming 2-2 in Oakland with a loss on the 22 date where Oakland's 22 in the most pure cipher and falling to 3-4 versus the A's. Yeah, but still these other things we're looking at are concerning because the network can play the network riddles. I like the network riddles a lot more in college basketball. They seem to be real good in college basketball. Than opposed to baseball. And I also worry about Homer Bailey becoming 10-9 against the Yankees because Yankees is 109. So that's why I'm looking at the pitchers just to see if there's more there. German today could get his 19th career win, 67 date numerology, the 19th prime. So this game's actually looking pretty conflicting.
The thing about ESPN is, there's ESPN equals 18 and like upset equals 18. So maybe the upset plays,
It could. Hey, if you're filling the Athletics, I don't think they're a bad upset play, but personally, for me, just already based on what I've seen, I'm probably going to shy away from this game unless I come across something huge here with Homer Bailey or Domingo German. So.
Okay.
All right. Yep.
All right, man.
Thanks. Again, I'm trying to pick the piece of fruit that has the least blemishes on it here, and there's definitely some blemishes on this fruit. So German can get the 19th win on the 67 date. Where was I just writing that at? All right. And has German faced the Athletics yet? Probably. All right. He's 0-0 in the Athletics with one career start. He pitched a complete game. Caller?
Yeah, the Yankees haven't played the A's this year.
They haven't played this year?
You're looking at 2018.
You're absolutely right. All right, good correction, man. Good catch. Thank you. All right, he's right about that. So, excuse me, that was a mistake. They have not played this year. So that means they got some remaining games this year. All right, hold on. Okay. Apologies for that. That was last year's stats. All right, so we got to throw that out. That was Oakland's best riddle to win, was the head-to-head stats, and that was a mistake. Let's see. All right, so looking at the pitchers, things are looking a little bit better for the Yankees here. Hold on. So he pitched a complete game and gave up 6 runs. That's a really weird complete game. He must have given up those runs later. See what his record is in Oakland. So he's never started a game in Oakland. Or never mind, the other game wasn't a complete game. He just finished that game. So he came in and pitched the final 4 innings. So he has pitched in Oakland. It wasn't a start. It was middle relief, and he closed it out. So he must have been the closer of that game. All right. And then Bailey, I'm pretty sure Bailey hasn't done that well since he came over from Kansas City. I guess he has a winning record. He's 3-2. It's not so bad. He's 77 and 85 for his career. He could become 3-3 versus New York. Bailey is 3-2 with Oakland. New York equals 33. And is there a 137 connection with the Athletics? Am I making that up? No, they don't have that. All right, Bailey. It's really interesting that they had not played each other because we're getting pretty late in the season to have not have faced each other yet. I guess see his splits here versus the Yankees, and then look at who these guys face next. Yankees. So he's 2-1 versus the Yankees. Bailey could fall to 2-2 versus the Yankees on this 22 date as well. Oakland equals 22 and 31. The 22 is more pure, but you have the 22 date numerology as well. So again, Bailey can become 10-9 for the year. Yankees 109. German could get his 19th career win on the 67 day. Caller?
Hi, Zach, are you live right now?
I am live right now.
Do you know what time you'll be off air?
I am probably not going to have any free time today. So today's a bad day for me.
Okay.
Yeah, give me a try tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah,
All right. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
Yeah, because as soon as I'm here, I got to do more work on the golf decode. But yeah, now that we threw out the head-to-head record because that was a mistake, I'm thinking things are looking a bit better for the Yankees here. You got the ESPN Network riddle. The pitchers make sense on both sides. With the Yankees win, if the Athletics stayed on 40, it would set them up to get their 41st win tomorrow on the 41 date. Oakland's also 41. The Athletics narrative to win would have to be that they're going to sweep the series to get to 74 wins, just because New York Yankees is 74. And again, New York Yankees is 191, the 43rd prime. They could also get their 43rd home win. It's possible, but again, the Yankees aren't really getting swept by teams. If the Yankees come in and win 2, they get to 85 in Oakland, the reflection of 58, big Oakland number. So To me, things are looking better here for the Yankees tonight. Apologies for screwing up with the head-to-head record, but thanks to the caller, we figured out that was wrong, because that's where the narrative was for Oakland, and that was a mistake. Here, let's see if we can see down the road who's pitching in these games up ahead with the Yankees. See if there's a possibility, if anything just screams out about. So Fears is on the mound tomorrow versus Happ. 108. To look more at their numbers, but their head-to-head record doesn't scream anything. And Tanaka could become 10-6. Oakland Athletics is 106. So if the Yankees did win 2, they would get to 85. Tanner Rourke could become 1-2 versus the Yankees. Yankees 37, the 12th prime, like 1-2. So Yankees winning 2, it's in the numbers. Not so sure about tomorrow's game, but Tanaka makes sense. So yeah, I got to lean Yankees based on those pitcher riddles there. I did write down that Homer Bailey can become 10-9, didn't I? This 118 connects a lot more to San Francisco than it does with Oakland. Just like how, because again, San Francisco's the city with all the 118 connections. I don't even know if I should document the 118 thing for Athletics. We saw Bumgarner get his 118th career win over the A's, though. And again, Bailey can become 3-3 with Oakland versus New York as well. Okay. This is a 3-game series, the Dodgers and the Blue Jays. And if the Dodgers won all... whoops, I hit the wrong button. If the Dodgers won all 3, they'd get to 85 wins. Toronto Blue Jays is 85. But Kershaw, he's going to pitch, and his next career loss is 72, and Toronto 72. Is that game tomorrow or Thursday? Buehler's on the mound tomorrow. Must be Thursday. Oh, weird. So they switched around their rotation. He's not pitching. Why isn't he pitching? They must be saving him for the next series. Where's Kershaw at? There's no way it can be this long of a gap. I guess they switched it around. There must be some other alignment they're going for. Shoot. Well, anyway, we had Kershaw winning his last game because we saw his next career loss is 72, and we saw that he would face Toronto, well, until they switch things. Maybe they'll switch things around again. Things could change. They do shift pitchers around. But if Kershaw does pitch... Oh, never, what's wrong with me? He's pitching today. When I looked this morning, that's not who they had in. I'm sorry, guys. When I looked this morning, he's not who was in, so I was assuming he still wasn't there. But when I first started this morning, he wasn't the guy in. So anyway, this would be the upset narrative right here with Kershaw. Kershaw's next career loss is 72, and Toronto 72, and Dodgers is 72. Hold on, it's taking a second to load. Really? My internet didn't go out, did it? Alright, are we still connected? Let's try this again. There we go. Alright, so Kershaw's 165 and 71. Now, he is pitching on the 20th. 71 is the 20th prime if he stayed there. But Toronto equals 72 just like Dodgers. And this would be a nice big upset if it happened. But just looking at the possibility of the Dodgers winning 3 straight to get to 85 wins, because again, Toronto Blue Jays is 85, that is something to consider. So, let's see if Kershaw has any history with the Blue Jays, and then we'll look at the teams head-to-head as well. 166. Let me make sure there's no 166 connection with the Blue Jays either. There's not. In the Dodgers field. Okay. Toronto. He's 1-0 versus Toronto with a 2.57 ERA. One start. He went 7 innings, 2 earned runs. What's his record at Dodger Stadium? He's 91-34 at Dodger Stadium. And I don't think those numbers connect. Okay. So Kershaw could pick up 72nd career. Kershaw can pick up 72nd career loss. Toronto Dodgers. All right, this Sean Reed Foley, who was in earlier today, he's 2-3. If he lost, he would be 2-4. Los Angeles Dodgers is 89, the 24th prime. Los Angeles also equals 89. So that's definitely not out of the question. Dodgers are monster favorites. If the Blue Jays only lost one in the series, if the Blue Jays won this series, they'd have 76 losses, and Dodger Stadium is 76, and they'd have 37 away losses, and Los Angeles is 37. So, does Dodgers, no. So that would be the upset narrative if the Blue Jays took 2 out of 3. Let's look at the head-to-head record. Well, let's look at the interleague play and the head-to-head record. Blue Jays are 2-11 versus the NL. If the Blue Jays lost, they would be 2-12. Toronto Blue Jays equals 212. So let me jot that down here. Blue Jays could fall to 2-12 versus NL with a loss. Toronto Blue Jays equals 212. If they lost 2, they'd be 213, right? 213 LA area code. So that's another thing to consider. Okay. I should also just add this note here. If Dodgers swept Blue Jays, they would have 85 wins. Toronto Blue Jays equals 85 as well. Make this note too, I should have mentioned this. If A's swept the Yankees, they would have 74 wins and 43 home wins. New York Yankees equals 191, 74, 191, 43rd prime. I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm just documenting things just to keep in mind. Okay. The Dodgers sweeping the Blue Jays wouldn't surprise anybody, but there really is a narrative there for the Blue Jays to surprise the Dodgers. And again, this is how they get gamblers. I got to see just for kicks how much money's on the Blue Jays. Here it is right here. 99% of the money's on the Dodgers. Hardly anybody's bet on this game because the Dodgers don't pay anything, and who wants to take the Blue Jays against the Dodgers? So it's the kind of game where the upset, Vegas, they're not going to have much to pay out. Blue Jays winning at least one does make sense because Los Angeles is 53 as well. Let me look at this Reed Foley more. He's 4-7. If he lost 2 more games, he'd be 4-9 for his career. Blue Jays is 49. Let's see. He's never faced the Dodgers. Caller?
Hey, just to add to that 2-2 connection you brought up the Toronto Blue Jays. So Kershaw's record is 12-2. Flip it around, that's 2-12 as well. So it's another one of these cases where they flip around the win-loss column.
Right.
It could be a sign to how the game is going to go. Plus the 3-3, if Kershaw gets the decision and Reed Foley gets the decision, they would both have a reduction of 3-3 to read the second prime. So it's one of these cases where the primes could be in play, as well as the fact that the Blue Jays could stay in the 36.
What's the deal with the second prime today? What are you seeing with that?
Well, I was just thinking both of them would have 3 as the reduction in all of the columns of their season record.
Right.
And Reed Foley enters the game with a 3.00 ERA. The line is minus 330. So it kind of seems like that 3-3 would kind of play.
Right.
Plus, I mean, the start time as well is a prime 71. So it just...
That's how many losses Kershaw was on for his career. 71 career losses.
Yeah, but it's one of these cases where you had circled it as well, like a couple weeks ago. I think after that Marlins series or during it, you had stated, look for Kershaw to get number 72 against Toronto. So it feels like your intuition was there. And I would say kind of go with your intuition, trust it today at least.
Sure. So, I mean, yeah, I did say that about a week ago. I was saying it makes sense if Kershaw got his 72nd loss because nobody would see this game coming. And
so the line is ridiculous. So they're plus 285.
Right. So the other thing you can do with this Blue Jays game is if there's a group of games you like today, make that small parlay and tack the Blue Jays on there as a huge multiplier.
Yeah, I think if people want like a solid 3-teamer today, it's like the Rays, and they could take the Mariners tomorrow in that if they have the ability to do that. And then the Cubs is probably one of the best ones today. And then the Cardinals, they should win today to go along with that 2 out of 3. And if people want to add in the Braves as well, though that one doesn't pay as well. But in a parlay, they could do a 4-teamer. And if they add in the Blue Jays or something like that, it would be like their 5th team, and then they could take both Blue Jays and Dodgers, and they're already going to have 3 or 4 solid teams, so it would be like no matter what, they'd probably hit that 4 or 5-teamer that they want today. So it would be like $2 to win 100 or more.
Right, that's what's nice about this. You don't have to bet a lot to win a lot. So
yeah, like yesterday it was on like less than $5 or $6 today place. They got back like 700. I ended up doing like $1,200 something yesterday off less than like $100 place.
Nice.
So all it takes though is just identifying these games where you can figure out which ones in the series, and if you have an indication on the record in terms of their final overlap numbers, like today the 36 overlap in the Cardinals and Brewers, so that the Brewers would stay in the 36 tomorrow. It allows you then to plan out each day where you have 3 or 4 really good games, and you can just play that $4 or $5 and get back 100.
Well, that's a good strategy, yeah. Make small, intelligent bets.
I just wanted to say that. Just trust your intuition. I think the Blue Jays do have a shot.
Yeah, they also have a shot to win 2 out of 3 because the record could make sense that way. So
it would be very nice to have the Dodgers get punked tonight.
Yeah, it's possible.
All right, I'll let you back
All
to
right,
it. Thanks.
take care, man. Keep in mind the Yankees and Dodgers are kind of mirroring each other lately, so watch what those 2 teams do tonight. All right, so Angels are still up. Again, what we said with the Angels, just to review, we're going to review. Here, actually, let's do the college football games, and then we'll come back and review baseball. Somebody asked if we can look at college football. They said that it's starting tonight. I didn't realize it was already starting. Are we sure it's starting tonight? Because that says Saturday. And that's when I'm used to college football starting on the weekend. Maybe we don't really have games tonight. Or hold on. It's because I'm looking at top 25. Isn't there a category? What's this mean? Is that a division? FBS? It must just be like a certain division's playing tonight. American. No, we're not there yet either. I don't think we're there yet. All right, I'm going to skip the college football for tonight. I'm sorry, just because I got to do the golf thing and we're already deep into the day. We will do it. Whoops. So, yeah, I can't overwhelm myself. Okay, so let's just review baseball again. Angels are up early. The game's not over, but we're leaning towards the Angels winning 2 out of 3. I said I might just bet the Angels. I keep betting them until they've won their 2 games. If they win both today, then maybe lay off them tomorrow, because it makes a lot of sense for them to win 2 out of the remaining 3 games. Caller?
Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. There is no college football. They don't start until Saturday. It's 2 NFL games tonight.
Oh, 2 NFL preseason games. Well, we can take a peek at those.
Yeah.
All right, here, we'll do that right now. Thank you for the correction. Appreciate that.
Okay, no problem.
All right, thanks, man. All right, let's see if we got anything then with our... Is that typical preseason games on a Tuesday? What is going on? I guess it's the beginning of preseason week 3, if there's 2 games tonight. Wait a minute, are we sure about this either? I don't see any games tonight. Preseason week 2. Am I missing something here? Okay, preseason week 2 is over. It would have to be week 3. See, Thursday. I think we're just ahead of ourselves on football. Okay. I think we're ahead of ourselves on football. We're not here yet. Thursday. I'll link that document again. Look at those coaching records. Study it. Practice. Get yourself primed for the football season, but we'll do it. All right, let's review baseball again one more time. Wrap it up, and I'll be back later today with the golf decode. Again, we're doing the golf decode in 2 days. Or should I even come back tonight? Should we just do it tomorrow? Maybe I'll just post the notes tonight when I'm finished, and then we'll go over it tomorrow. Because it doesn't even seem like anybody's showing up for that live stream anyway. It's like 3 people are there. So I'm like, is this worth it? I thought people wanted me to do this. Anyway, Angels and Rangers. If the Angels win 2 out of 3, things make a ton of sense. It's possible the Angels could even win all 3. But like I said, I'd bet the Angels. I just bet them all 3 games. You should win 2 out of those 3 bets, possibly all 3. If the Angels win both today, we'll evaluate tomorrow. But I like this first game with the Angels. The pitcher was going for his 19th career win on the 67 date numerology, 67th and 19th prime. The game could still flip on us. But right now he is in position to get that 19th win. Royals and Orioles is a little bit dicey because the Royals can get their 22nd win on the 22 date numerology. However, the Orioles can end the losing streak here today, ended at 8 games. The Orioles can get their 40th win on the 40-date numerology. They can get their 19th home win on the 67-date numerology. Plus Kansas City equals 67 as well. So perfect team to get that 19th home win against. And today is a great day to do it, to end that losing streak. One concern I have with the Orioles besides the 22 is Bundy can get his 14th career loss. And we've talked about how KC keeps dishing out 14. So be careful. I think the Pirates have a chance to upset the Nationals tonight through Strasburg. Strasburg's next career loss is 58. Pittsburgh equals 58. If the Nationals drop 2 in this 4-game series, they will get to 58 losses. Strasburg's narrative to win would be his 16th win of the season versus the team with the P on the hat, because P's the 16th letter. Chris Archer with a win tonight. He's 4-9. And Washington's 49. He could also get his 61st career win. Washington, D.C. is 61. So there's a narrative for a Pirates upset. They're dogs at home. The Indians and Mets. Caller earlier, he pointed out that if the Mets won 2 in a row, they'd be 66-60. like 666. New York equals 666. You guys might remember that big New York 666 horse riddle at the Belmont Stakes that had us on that winning jockey at the end. But that is a thought. But I'd have a lot of trouble betting on the Mets today because if Motts loses, he's 7-8. Cleveland equals 78. So does New York. If Bieber wins, Bieber would get his 24th career win, and Mets equals 24. Caller?
Hey, it's me. Tell you about the football for tonight. I made a mistake. It's the 24th.
The 24th, Saturday.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about that. I just let you know. Just call you, let you know I made a mistake.
No problem at all. We'll be all over it on Saturday, so no problem.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Take
thank you.
care now.
Yeah, have a good night. Yeah, no problem. All right, so Motts, he got the overlap with 78. Bieber getting that 24th career win. We know how the Mets dish out 24. Mets can also get the 22nd home loss on the 22 date numerology. That's another one. So I like the Indians here. If the Mets did win today, that caller might be right about the 666 tribute. So, to me, that's a little bit more abstract, though, than just how it lines up on both sides for the pitchers. You got the date numerology going against the Mets. That's what I like to look for in a game. You got pitcher riddles making sense on both sides and date numerology. So I like Indians. Phillies have a chance to beat the Red Sox twice here. If they do, Cora will get his 115th regular season loss as a manager. Philadelphia's 115. The Red Sox would get their 61st loss of the season. 60 and 61. Philadelphia's 61. Today, the Red Sox could stay parked on 67 wins on a 67 date numerology. If the Phillies won both, it's just a 2-game series. They'd stay parked on 32 away losses. Boston's 32. So, I'm not crazy about this game, despite everything I just said, just because I can make sense of Nola's record with a win or a loss today. So, I don't rate this as a safe game, but there is a chance the Phillies take 2 here and give the Red Sox that 61st loss. Philadelphia 61. The Mariners should split with the Rays. Last caller, he likes the Rays a lot today. I personally would probably skip this game today and wait for tomorrow's game. Rays should definitely win one of the next 2 to get to or to give the Mariners their 74th loss. Tampa Bay Rays is 74. But in light of the fact that the Rays or the Mariners should win today or tomorrow, and it's hard to say which day, the Mariners' next away win is 27, and Diego Castillo could fall to 2-7 today. Rays is 27. Again, the main reason that we like the Mariners to split is because of their manager. He wins and loses, or if he splits the next 2 games, he's 307 and 307 as a manager. 307 is the 63rd prime. Rays is 63. So, Padres and Reds. The best thing to go off of here in this game is Sonny Gray. He can get to 9-6 pitching in Cincinnati. Cincinnati 96, always a big number with that city. The concern for the Reds would be them picking up their 67th loss on the 67 date numerology. But again, I think that date numerology is the weakest path. It's close to insignificant. Sometimes it matters. 67 is the 19th prime. Reds is 19. It's possible, but I just like Cincinnati in 96. That's a number I count on with that city in the sports riddles. So, Sonny Gray, 9-6. That's where I'm at. If Cal Contrell loses, he's 6-4. The reflection of 46. We know how big 46 is with the Reds. I remember the Reds put it on the Padres earlier this year. That was a series early in the year when things were hot, and that Red series was good money for us. Some of you probably won a lot on that because they were big underdogs each day, and they pummeled the Padres. So they had their number earlier. And actually, as I say that, I just want to look at what their head-to-head record is earlier this year. Or not earlier this year, right now. I want to use that for one last clue, just to make sure. Reds, Padres. That's interesting. The Reds could stay on 133 losses at home against the Padres on the day, leaving 133 days left in the year. So that's interesting that that's there. And By the way, Atlanta caller, I meant to correct something you said that just popped into my head earlier. When you were on the phone, I didn't interrupt you, but you said today's the 233rd day of the year, leaving 133 remaining. It's not the 233rd day of the year. If you're still out there, it's the 232nd day of the year, leaving 133 remaining. Just want to make sure that you knew that. Meant to say that about an hour ago. My fault. Okay. So the Reds are 0-1 at home versus the Padres, but for the season, they are 3-2. And San Diego Padres is 137, the 33rd prime. If they split the next two, they'd be 4-3. San Diego's 43. Well, that's about the only thing I could see actually going against the Reds is just becoming 3-3 versus the Padres because San Diego Padres is 137, the 33rd prime. Let me add that to the team riddles real quick. Okay. Reds could fall to 3-3 versus Padres for 2019. San Diego Padres equals 137, 33rd prime. Yeah, it makes things a little bit more dangerous. I think the head-to-head records are more important when it's a division match. This isn't. This is NL West versus NL Central. Again, still what looks the strongest to me is just Cincinnati at 96. Sonny Gray getting to 9-6, number that plays with that city. The Marlins and the Braves. I wouldn't bet this game just because the Braves don't pay anything. The Marlins, their chance to upset the Braves is to give the Braves their 22nd loss in the NL East. But if the Braves win today, the Marlins will pick up the 40th away loss on the 40 date. And if they lose tomorrow, they pick up the 41st away loss on the 41 date. Braves equals 41, 41 the 13th prime. M, the 13th letter. See plenty of 41-13 riddles with both teams. Keuchel, his win-loss record can make sense either way. So, I wouldn't bet the Braves just because they don't pay enough. Braves win today, they should be golden tomorrow. Because again, the 41st loss on the 41 date where Braves equals 41 and it connects to the M and Marlins, that makes a lot of sense. So if I did bet the Braves today, I'd probably parlay them to win tomorrow also. But I might be more inclined if I'm going to make a bet on this game to do one of those small parlays. Like imagine if you put two games that you really like today and you just bet like a few dollars on that and you tack on that parlay, the Toronto upsetting the Dodgers and the Marlins upsetting the Braves. You could probably turn $2 into close to $100. So I might be more inclined to do that kind of bet with this game just because the Marlins have a little narrative. Okay, Brewers and Cardinals. And also, again, you can mix up your parlay cards. You can get on both sides of certain games if you're strategic. Just do your math, see how you're going to come out at the end of the day. Cardinals and Brewers. We were talking about the Cardinals winning yesterday and winning at least 2 out of 3 in the series. The law of averages still on their side for this game. If the Cardinals win today, they'll get their 67th win on the 67 date. Gio Gonzalez could fall to 2-2 on the 22 date. Michael Wacha, though, could also fall to 6-7. Tomorrow, Wainwright pitches for the Cardinals, and it makes a lot of sense if Wainwright loses tomorrow. So, also thinking about that and thinking that the Cardinals should win at least 2 or 3 makes me like the Cardinals today as well. Again, the reason we like the Cardinals to win 2 out of 3 is because they'll get to 36 home wins. They just need one more. They won yesterday. Brewers is 36, and if the Brewers lose 2 out of 3, which means one more, they get to 36 away losses. Cardinals is 36, overlap number. So I'm leaning Cardinals today. I don't like that you can make sense of Wacha with a win or a loss, but still, just law of averages, I favor the Cardinals. Again, Rangers, good chance to win both games today. If Jamie Barria wins, he's 5-2 versus the Rangers for his career. Texas Rangers 52. The concern for Berea is falling to 4-7 in Arlington. Arlington's 47, lesser date numerology of 47. But expecting the Angels to win 2 out of 3. They're up right now. Again, I'd bet the Angels both games today. If they lose today, they should win tomorrow. So you should come out ahead if you take the Angels in all games. But again, if the Angels win both today, let us reevaluate tomorrow before you bet the Angels tomorrow, because a good chance they only win 2 out of 3. I do like the Cubs today. It's probably one of the games that I like more. Cole Hamels can get his 163rd win, which is the 38th prime. Giants is 38. Tyler Beede can fall to 3-8. Giants 38. He wears the number 38. And if the Giants lose, they're 63-63. Cubs equals 63. Wrigley Field equals 63. Major League 63. I think the Giants win one game in this series to get to 35 away wins. Chicago's 35. And I don't think it's today. The Cubs can also get the 67th win on the 67 date numerology. Tigers and Astros. Astros are probably going to win the 3 remaining games to get to 83 wins. Detroit Tigers is 83. Tigers' best case scenario is to sneak out 1 to get to 38 wins because Astros is also 38. But if the Tigers were going to win a game, it would be today, just because Verlander should get his 37th win with the Astros tomorrow. He used to pitch for Detroit. Detroit's 37. That makes a lot of sense. And then they got Cole, Garrett Cole on the mound for the game after. So their 2 best pitchers the next 2 days. Probably not where they win. Let me see. What did I write for Turnbull? Turnbull can get his 14th career loss today. Astros 43, 14th prime. The date numerology does break down to 4 today. Turnbull could get his 4th career win. That would have to be the riddle for him. Sanchez can also improve to 4-0 versus Detroit for his career on the 40 date. Houston's 40. So the White Sox and Twins, because the White Sox won yesterday, they made the Twins 7-4 versus the White Sox. Chicago White Sox 74. If the Twins won today, they would be 8-4 versus the White Sox. Minnesota Twins is 84. And if they lost tomorrow, they'd fall to 8-5. Twins is 85, like how Pineda comes in 8-5. So I'm going to lean on the division record being the indicator. So Twins to improve to 8-4. They're not a great payout today. The upset narrative for the White Sox is Reynaldo Lopez could become 2-2 versus the Twins on the 22 date numerology. Twins equals 22. Or he could fall to 1-3. TC, I wrote TW, I meant TC. TC, what they wear on the Twins cap for Twin Cities, does have the Gematria 13 if he became 1-3 against them. So I'm actually not thrilled about this game just because that's a halfway decent riddle for Reynaldo Lopez. I should also write that Chicago White Sox. Wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm not wrong. No, I'm not. That's right. Chicago White Sox. Wait a minute. I better check. Yeah, Chicago White Sox is 79. I thought it was. All right. Chicago White Sox equals 79. That's the 22nd prime number. So I'm just thinking that if the White Sox did win this series, let's just say they won today and the Twins fell to 7-5, the Twins could come back tomorrow and win 8-5, and then Twins is 85, so it could go in a little bit different order. But I don't think the Twins are quite a good enough payout to take the risk. And this could also be a game if you're mixing up cards that you get on both sides of, because the White Sox do have a little narrative today. Typically, though, when you identify a pattern in a series, it follows that pattern. Just like how the Twins fell to 7-4 versus the White Sox yesterday. Chicago White Sox 74. If they won today, they'd be 8-4. Minnesota Twins 84. So typically, once the key variables indicate in a series, it will follow that. So still leaning Twins, but there's some cause for concern. Rockies and D-backs. Rockies can get the 40th away loss on the 40 date numerology. Yesterday, the date numerology was good. You can make an argument for Alex Young win or lose. And I forget if there was any other things I had to say about that game. Freeland's the narrative for the Rockies would be through Kyle Freeland. He's 3-3 versus Arizona. If he won, he'd be 4-3. Alex Young's narrative to win is he can improve to 2-2 at Chase Field on the 22 date numerology. But again, the date numerology is going against the Rockies. Yesterday, the date numerology was good. So, hoping it's good again. I'm thinking, because it's been mostly good for the last week, I'm still thinking law of averages, it'll probably be good today. Yankees and Athletics, Homer Bailey with a loss would be 10-9. Yankees is 109. Games on ESPN. ESPN equals 54 like baseball. Athletics can get the 54th loss of the season. Domingo German could get his 19th career win on the 67 date. 67 is the 19th prime. That's just like what we talked about up here with this guy. Oh, well, now the Angels have extended their lead. So the Angels pitcher in this game was going for his 19th career win as well on the 67 date. Other potential 19 on the board today is the Orioles getting the 19th home win. Let me just make sure I didn't skip any today. Okay. I think we're all good there. Okay, so German can get his 19th career win. He could also get his 17th win of the season, and there's a mathematical relationship with 17 in the Athletics. Bailey with a loss would also be 3-3 with Oakland. New York's 33. And Bailey's 2-1 versus the Yankees for his career. With a loss, he'd be 2-2 on the 22 date numerology. Oakland's 22 in the most pure cipher. So I like the Yankees here. And again, big parlay multiplier opportunity. The Blue Jays upsetting Kershaw. Kershaw's next career loss is 72. Toronto equals 72. So does Dodgers. So we know 72 plays with the Dodgers. I don't think that's out of the question. Before we wrap it up, one more thing I want to scan real quick because I overlooked the 19s in the division records. Boston's on 19 wins versus the Central. Who's Boston playing again? Boston's playing Phillies. Oh, they're playing National League. What was the interleague play records? 3-5. Boston could improve to 4-5 in interleague play. Phillies is 45. That's to consider. If they won both, they'd get to 5-5. Boston, Massachusetts. That goes against our thought about the Phillies potentially winning both. Phillies are 8-5. Boston and Red Sox are both 85. Yeah, it's tough. That's tough. Yeah, I would lay off this game here, but if Phillies win today, they do have a good shot to win tomorrow. All right, hold on. I was looking for 19s. Toronto, they're not playing their division. Baltimore is playing. They're not playing their division either. They're playing the AL Central. They're not playing the West. Minnesota's playing. No. Cleveland is playing. Cleveland's playing the Mets, interleague play. All right, White Sox. White Sox got the Twins. So far, none of the 19s line. Kansas City. Kansas City's against the Orioles. So what I see about that is if Kansas City won, they would stay on 19 losses versus the East. Let me document that real quick. All right. So that's one thing that could go in. Again, staying on the numbers, not really where it's at. It's more about picking it up, but just want to document it anyhow. And Houston. Washington. Where's Washington playing again? That's right. NL Central. Philadelphia. No, they're playing interleague play. Miami has a chance at the 19th win today over the Braves. Miami actually might have a narrative because the Braves can pick up the 22nd loss in the NL East. Miami can pick up 19th win versus NL East. Braves equals 67, 19th prime. Again, it's a 67 date numerology, the 19th prime. Braves can pick up 22nd loss versus NL East, 22 date numerology. So Miami actually has a chance here. That's two things in the division records that could connect with that game. That's interesting. If the Braves do win 2 in a row, though, it would set up another riddle that would make sense. But today, Miami has a narrative through the division records. So they would be a huge multiplier. Dodgers, no, they're interleague play. San Diego. Who's San Diego playing again? No, NL Central, that's right. All right, so the 119 that really popped was Miami with an upset over the Braves. If they won 1 and lost 2 in the series, they'd get to 41 losses versus the East as well. Braves 41, Braves 67, the 19th prime. So Miami has a chance today, because again, if Keuchel lost, he would be 3-6. Miami's 36 and 45, so that could go either way for Keuchel. Did I write anything else down for him? Keuchel's on 68 career losses. Miami Marlins 68. Okay. Marlins got a chance. They got a chance. Again, small bets, big payoffs. It's the way to do it with those type of games. But hopefully you guys are on the Angels, winning early. And we'll wrap it up there. I'm going to put all the notes, and then I'm going to go eat something real quick and start grinding on the golf. Tonight I'll post the golf notes. I'll think about doing a live stream, but I will have all of the notes published. It's just people haven't been showing up really for the Tuesday golf stream, like they're waiting for the Wednesday one. So maybe it's just better to get the notes out there. If there's something that I want to articulate that needs to be really clear, maybe I'll make a quick video. Just make sure that point's communicated. But I'm going to do the live stream tomorrow for golf as well. So we'll leave it there, and I'll see you later.